killed both of his parents in their apartment in the senior living center.
That's Chester County DA Tom Hogan. There was also a shooting at a crowded courthouse in Masontown, Pennsylvania, leaving 4 people wounded, including an officer who was in good condition afterward. Another cop ended it.
One of those officers from the German Township Police Department encountered this armed gunman and fired multiple rounds from his service weapon. The gunman was fatally wounded.
State Police Lieutenant Steve Dahlen in Maryland, 2 officers shot while serving a drug-related search warrant last night in Prince George's County. One's in serious condition. The suspect's in custody. Fox News, Farron.
In Chicago this morning, we have cool and dry conditions. 67 degrees at O'Hare at 5:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. Illinois voters will get to see Bruce Rauner and J.B. Pritzker on the same stage at the same time for the first time this evening. 2 major party candidates are set to debate on Chicago television tonight. The debate will begin at 6 p.m. Rauner and Pritzker have been running millions of dollars worth of television commercials against each other for months, but tonight will be their first debate. You can watch the debate on NBC5 Chicago's website. A 6-month-old boy and 13-year-old girl are among the 4 people shot in Chicago's South Loop. Police say the children and a man and woman were riding in a car last night near Cermak and State when someone wearing a ski mask jumped out of a blue van and opened fire on their vehicle. The boy and girl remain hospitalized in critical but stable condition. Investigators believe the incident stemmed from an argument between those in the 2 vehicles. Disgraced former Chicago Police Commander John Burge is dead. Police union says he died in Florida at the age of 70. Burge and his crew of officers were accused of torturing numerous suspects in the 1970s and 80s in order to obtain confessions. In 2010, he was convicted in federal court of lying about police torture and was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. More testimony is expected today in the trial of Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke. The officer is charged with murder in the deadly shooting of black teenager Laquan McDonald in 2014. The Reverend Jesse Jackson was inside the courtroom yesterday and spoke with the parents. Cook County Medical Examiner took the stand yesterday and described each one of the 16 gunshots on McDonald's body. The chief of staff for Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle is stepping down. Preckwinkle announcing yesterday that John Keller has resigned over allegations of inappropriate and disrespectful behavior. Keller had served as her chief of staff since January of 2017, but had been with Preckwinkle since 2006. The announcement came 24 hours before the county board president planned to announce her bid for mayor of Chicago. Mayor Emanuel continues to push a plan to reduce vaping in Chicago. The city council committee will consider today a proposal by the mayor that would roughly double the tax on e-cigarettes. The measure would also require e-cigs and related products to be sold from behind store counters. New polling shows incumbent Illinois Congressman Peter Roskam early on, trailing in his race for re-election. Surveys conducted by the GOP U.S. Representative's opponent, Sean Casten, who only has a 47 to 44% lead with 9% undecided in a decidedly Republican district. Poll also found that 39% of voters did have an unfavorable view of Roskam. An investigation continues following the death of an inmate at the Lake County Jail. Authorities say the man was found unresponsive yesterday in a cell in the maximum security section of that jail. He died later at a nearby hospital. U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions toured Chicago yesterday. He made a surprise visit to the Chicago Police Department in the city's Austin neighborhood. He also stopped by to witness how CPD uses technology to fight crime. Later, Sessions visited Waukegan. Gary Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson is being subpoenaed. She, along with her chief of staff and other top city leaders, are being forced to answer questions concerning transfers of money from the fire department's ambulance fund. The fund was the subject of an audit found at more than $8 million short. A powerful suburban Chicago company is ready to expand and add hundreds of jobs in Indiana. The Winwright Corporation yesterday announced plans to build a $26 million, 320,000 square foot plant in Hobart, Indiana. Winwright is in the robotics business. The expansion could bring up to 600 jobs. Company officials have yet to detail why they chose Indiana. The Diamondbacks smacked 3 home runs en route to a 9-0 victory over the Cubs in Phoenix. Jason Kipnis belts a grand slam in the ninth. Indians rally for a 4-1 victory over the White Sox. Dylan Covey strong in the loss, allowing just 2 hits over 6 strong innings of work. Bears inside linebacker Danny Trevathan honored by the league, NFC Defensive Player of the Week. White Sox rookie pitcher Michael Kopech is recovering after undergoing successful Tommy John surgery on his right elbow. Blackhawks take on the Red Wings tonight in Detroit in the NHL preseason. The news is a service of the T.J. Martell Foundation. The T.J. Martell Foundation is music's promise for a cure. To learn more, visit tjmartell.org. That's tjmartell.org. 5:08, a check of traffic and weather is coming up next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018 on Saturday, October 27th. Presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicago's retirement planning experts. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Chicagoland Waterproofing and by Tom Miraboli, independent agent for Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois.
All right, we got a brand new wheat sub here. 1 grain bread. Do I hear any takers? 1 grain bread. All right, what about 2 grain bread? Let me get a taker for 2 grain. What about you, Jimmy John's? It's a firm head shake. No from Jimmy John's. How about 3 grain sub bread? 3 is not enough. How about 4 grain? Who wouldn't want 4 grains? Jimmy John's still a no. Let's go 5, 6, 7, 8. Want to make it rain? 8 grain. Jimmy John's still a no. All right, what about 9 grain wheat bread?
Wheat, yeah, we'll take it.
That's Jimmy John's new 9 grain wheat subs. Going once, going twice. Sold.
Try our new 9 grain wheat sub. Jimmy John's. Wheat, yeah, freak, yeah.
I used to post to job boards only to be overwhelmed with resumes.
Which made it easy to miss a great candidate.
That old process was
not smart. Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology finds the right people
and actively invites them to apply.
So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Don't you love fall and sleeping with the windows open? But are you really sleeping as well as you could? The MyPillow buy one, get one free offer is back for September. And if you haven't bought your MyPillow yet, here's your chance to get one for yourself, a loved one, or maybe as a gift. I love that I can move the field to get the support I need regardless of my sleep position. I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. MyPillow is made in America, washable, dryable, hypoallergenic, and has a 10-year warranty plus that 60-day full money-back guarantee. So go online or call now for this great buy one, get one free deal on premium MyPillows. You can also get 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress toppers, pet beds that my dog Bunky loves, luxury Giza cotton sheets, and more. Call 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201. Promo code Amy.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America invites you to take steps for cures at a walk event near you. Support the 1.6 million Americans living with these diseases. Get started at cctakesteps.org.
5:10. Let's get an update on the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Eisenhower Expressway traffic is heavy from the Reagan Toll to Manheim. There's a crash with vehicles on both shoulders putting an ambulance on the left side, and there's debris scattered across the roadway. On Kennedy at Cumberland, there's some road work wrapping up. There is a new lane configuration at Cumberland. Expect delays in that area. Stevenson is fine at this hour. Ryan looks okay. There is some road work wrapping up on the eastbound side. Merge 87th, also approaching downtown. Outbound, there's work 63rd Skyway right lane. Got I-57, stop and go Halstead to the merge. 18 minutes, I-80 to the ride. Bishop Ford, 26 minutes. Delays start at Stony Island. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny and breezy, high 91. Mainly clear, windy and warm tonight. A late night shower with thunderstorm response, low 73. Clouds and sun tomorrow, breezy and cooler, high 74. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
67 at O'Hare, 70 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So it seems like day 72 of the Kavanaugh saga, even though it really just
started.
Moved this weekend into this week.
Yeah, well, an edict has been issued. She has to be, let them know by 10 a.m. tomorrow, Friday, whether or not she's going to show up on Monday. And if she does not show up on Monday, then there will be no hearing.
Well, she has to provide prepared testimony by Friday. So it's not just notifying; it's provide prepared testimony in advance of the public hearing. That's part of the issue, right? And so that's sort of where we stand. And so now Democrats are continuing what they started yesterday, which is just decrying the process, that this is a sham. Kristen Gillibrand, senator from New York, you can add her into the mix of presidential aspirants and thus, by definition, demagogues. She was on with Jim Acosta on CNN, so you know that was a real grilling. Here's what she had to say about the process and what Ms. Ford is entitled to.
We should allow the corroborating witnesses. It's outrageous that they just want a he said, she said with just Dr. Ford with Judge Kavanaugh.
Yeah, the corroborating witnesses argument is their latest ploy. It's really interesting. Gillibrand mentions again and again Mark Judge, the friend of Kavanaugh, who Ford alleges was in the room during the incident.
Yeah, watching and then jumped on the two.
To separate them. He denies that. So that's, I don't know how much of a corroborating witness Mark Judge would make. He also doesn't want to testify.
No.
So there's that issue as well. But corroborating witnesses is the latest gambit. What are the corroborating witnesses going to look like? Are you going to parade all 200 people from Ford's prep school who signed the letter of support to her, most of whom didn't even go to school with her? Mm-hmm. Right. It's the letter in question that's been bandied about as well. It spans graduates of that high school over like 50 years that are basically just using this as an opportunity to virtue signal their politics, to indicate their politics. It has nothing to do, and they have no requisite knowledge of the alleged incident. This is how silly this has become. But corroborating witnesses sounds like, oh, well, that sounds fair. Let's have a process. Let's bring forward people who know anything. They don't want to bring forward people who know anything. They just want to bring forward people to interminably delay this. Gillibrand continued about the indignities that Ford is suffering.
Oh, no.
She decided to come forward. She is being given an opportunity to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee on a rather flimsy story based on the evidentiary support, and she somehow is the victim in this.
The fact that Mark Judge doesn't want to testify, well, maybe he doesn't want to be under oath. And so that is a red flag to me, that they are trying to railroad this. They're trying to create a sham hearing on Monday. There's no rush for this. They have not given her time. And to not even have the courtesy of an investigation of the facts first, and then have corroborating witnesses. Anita Hill had not only an FBI investigation, but she had 22 witnesses on her allegations, with more witnesses that wanted to testify. This sounds like a sham hearing designed only to have a he said, she said. But the truth is, I believe her. She has a credible allegation against Judge Kavanaugh. She told her therapist 5 years about it. Her husband, she told a friend a year ago. She told a reporter before Judge Kavanaugh was even nominated. This is all indicia of truthfulness, and now she wants an FBI investigation to get to the facts. I believe her, and I think the women of America should be paying attention right now to how the Republicans on the Judiciary Committee are treating a woman who wants to testify, to make sure that someone who gets a lifetime appointment has the character necessary to be a Supreme Court justice.
And there it is. I want to make sure the women of America are watching.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
because this is all about November 6th, turning out college-educated women, mainly, who are inclined to grab onto cultural touchstones and have them vote for congressional Democrat candidates. That's what this is about. And oh, by the way, just in case again you didn't think this was about identity politics, it's just about Me Too. It has nothing to do with white. It has nothing to do with men. It has nothing to do with Christian. John Garamendi, who, by the way, is a white dude, Democrat hack from California, member of Congress. Listen to him.
Women across this nation should be outraged at what these white men senators are doing to this woman. This woman needs a fair hearing, as every woman does who brings forth a charge such as Professor Ford is bringing forth.
Some old white dude decrying white dudes who aren't members of his party. But his point, to parroting the party line, white women should be watching what these white men senators are doing. 312-642-5600, Turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, Turnkey.pro text line. Take your calls. Don't tell me this isn't, in addition to trying to tube Kavanaugh, that limited and important effort by the left, that it isn't also about prosecuting their identity politics and making November 6th not a referendum on your economic interests, but a referendum on their virtue signaling identity politics, what it means to be a good person according to the left and the cultural institutions they control.
Well, and your girlfriend, I don't know, girlfriend, Senator Hirono from Hawaii. Oh,
Maisie.
Maisie was at it again yesterday.
The latest being a letter from the chairman to the Democrats saying, we have done everything we can to contact her. That is such I can hardly stand it.
She said that's BS. We know that's what happened. Here's Chuck Grassley.
Doing everything that we can to make Dr. Ford comfortable with coming before our committee, either in an open session or a closed session or a public or a private interviews. That's 4 different ways she can choose to come.
And they're also offering to send lawmakers to California to interview her. That's what Great Lakes they're going to try to get her to speak and come forward. But nothing. Radio silence.
Right. Tell me again about the substance of the allegation, the seriousness of the accuser. And all of these demagogues running interference for her and just using, frankly, her as leverage to support the antics they've been engaged in from the start of this process, from the moment Kavanaugh was nominated. Nick in Northwest Indiana, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, how you doing? I just want to bring something up. As a dumb cop, I was just kind of thinking about this, and I thought, doesn't anyone find it interesting that Dr. Ford hasn't filed any official report, or her attorney hasn't directed her to file any official report with any local, county, or state agency in Maryland, which would have the jurisdiction?
Yeah, but
and why not?
But that's sort
I'm
of
guessing.
Well, that's sort
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's sort of past post, right? I mean, her window to do that had closed decades ago.
Well, but here's the thing. To initiate an investigation, a victim has to file a complaint.
No, right. I understand.
So what I find interesting is if she did file a complaint, that locks her into a legal document, making an official statement. And if I'm not mistaken, I know here in Indiana, and I'm sure Maryland has some criminal statute that has code for filing a false report.
Sure.
Not that her allegations are false, but I find that kind of interesting.
All right. Thanks for the call, Nick.
I mean, there's no physical evidence. There's just going to be a he said, she said, and so far, I'm believing the he part of it.
Well, to the issue of filing a report with the police, I mean, if she had done that in a timely manner 30 years ago plus, then yeah, that would be an important document. But that didn't happen, and now that's sort of, well, it's irrelevant because it's not possible. Frank in St. Charles.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, the smoking gun on this Kavanaugh thing with this woman, she would have had to have told somebody back when it happened, a close friend. I mean, you just don't completely bury it. Maybe she didn't tell her parents, but if she told a couple close friends, boom, he's done.
Okay.
That's proof in my book.
All right,
Well, she didn't.
Well,
though.
thanks
According
for the
to
call,
her
Frank.
therapist, she didn't say a word, and now people are trying to glom on this girl, Christina King, who knew Brett Kavanaugh and knew Christine, said that everybody was talking about it in school. The thing is that it happened in the summertime, so people couldn't have been talking about it in school. And she deleted her tweets too. I mean, everyone's trying to pile on.
Delete her tweet. Yeah, I mean.
She's like, hi, all. I deleted this because it served its purpose, and I'm now dealing with a slew of
I mean,
requests."
lunchroom hearsay from 36 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So, but to Frank in St. Charles, if there were people who, yes, if she told that at the time, who come forward and recount and substantiate her story, then it becomes more credible. I don't think it's dispositive of the issue, but we don't even have that.
No.
We just have people using her to their political ends.
Yeah, and the woman who wrote this Facebook post that deleted it is a huge Democratic contributor.
And oh, by the way, I think it's still an open question that Dr. Ford, the good doctor, Miss Ford,
PhD, press here, dummy.
I don't think it has been disposed of whether or not she's using us for her political ends too. John and Palatine.
Hey, Dan and Amy. Dan, I was just wondering, as I understand it, supposedly the story is Kavanaugh jumped on her or was holding her down. But at the end of the day, if that might be bad behavior, but nothing happened, correct? Are we losing sight of that, or does that make any difference? And then how many people have we put on death row that ultimately we found through the therapy and stuff like that they were falsely and wrongly accused, but their lives were ruined anyway?
Yeah. Well, thanks for the call.
This wasn't it rise to the level of somebody who's on death row.
No,
but the part was he covered her mouth allegedly, and she thought that he would inadvertently kill her.
And again, this is not a criminal trial. This is not a criminal court of law. This is a political hearing. So let's not apply criminal standards here because they're not applicable. Tony on the South Side.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Hey, listen, this, you're absolutely right. This is all political. And if the American people don't see this, we're all stupid. Simply this, okay, we're talking about the liberals, the left, right? These are the ones that are compassionate, that care about people, and they want to do always, make everybody a nice, warm, safe, fuzzy. On the other hand, they want to destroy a man's life over some allegations that are from 50 years ago, whatever they were. And it's when you think about this, I mean, it's like, okay, let's destroy this man's life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because he's not in our party.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in our party. That's how they work.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
That's
Have
it.
a good day.
Thanks for the
And then
call,
yesterday,
Tony.
and help me out with this, Dan. They're saying in 1991, President Bush then ordered the FBI to investigate Anita Hill's claims. But why aren't we doing it this time? Why isn't the FBI getting involved? But what are they investigating? I mean, it's not a hearsay for something that happened 32 years ago.
If this would have been brought forward in a timely fashion by Dianne Feinstein,
this is all her fault.
If she would have consulted the chairman of the committee, Chuck Grassley, this could have been included in the background check, number 6, that was done by the FBI for the committee at the outset of this, but 11th hour jackpotting of the committee and the process and the American public to try and push off this vote past the midterms. So to take advantage of this for solely political reasons, why should Chuck Grassley or Senate Republicans play along with Democrat political tactics? They shouldn't.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy.
Turnkey IT knows that computer networks and all things IT are the vital heartbeat of any company. However, keeping up with hardware and software and all that stuff to hiring and managing can be costly and time-consuming, but there is a different solution. Now your business can have a full-time IT department for only $795 a month. That's what Turnkey IT's all-in small business package is for. You get world-class help desk, on-site remote support, monitoring of network resources, 365 hosting, cloud backup, and so much more, plus new hardware every 4 years. Where can you hire a reliable and highly capable employee for less than $10K per year? You don't have to with Turnkey IT. From 1 person to 200 employees, it's easy and affordable with Turnkey IT. You run your business, they'll handle the technical stuff. Visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, Joshi, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Wow, what a difference. I feel like I live in a brand new home, and it's all thanks to CertaPro Painters. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and while we are on our trip, I gave CertaPro Painters a key to my house. They came in, painted the living room, master bedroom, and it is impressive. Nothing like a fresh coat of paint to change the vibe of your house. CertaPro Painters are trustworthy. Obviously, I gave them a key to my house. They're professional, talented, and they clean up their mess. It's as if they were never there. And now that summer is here, you're going to want to hire CertaPro Painters too. You know, family and friends will be over for outdoor entertainment, and you want your house to look its best. Get your porch painted or stained. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated. Once again, get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Staying on topic, but moving to the other side, Keith Ellison, his accuser, is a bit upset that she's not getting any attention or any concern from her party. That would be the Democrat Party. And she's released new documents. We'll discuss at 5:38.
Can't wait. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
67 outside, mostly clear skies right now. A massive landslide has buried dozens of homes near a central Philippine mountain early this morning, killing at least 15. 64 are missing. The lawyer for the woman accusing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault says the rush to hearing on the accusation is unnecessary. Christine Blasey Ford's attorney said in a statement there are multiple witnesses who she believes should be included in any proceeding. However, Susan Collins of Maine, U.S. Senator, telling a local station in Maine that it will be unfair to Kavanaugh if his accuser will not testify.
I just don't understand why the hearing shouldn't go forth.
Hearing scheduled Monday to address Ford's claim. Kavanaugh has denied the assault allegations and has agreed to appear at that hearing. Several rivers in North Carolina are expected to reach a major flood stage today because of Hurricane Florence. Over a dozen rivers hit flood stage yesterday. President Trump says Florence prompted epic flooding in the Carolinas and visited a Marine base yesterday.
We've seen all the pictures where houses are literally covered beyond the roof. You don't even know there's a house there.
He thanked local, state, and federal officials who've been involved in helping the Carolinas get through the monster storm. Overnight, at least 5 police officers were shot in 3 separate encounters across the nation. 2 officers in Prince George's County, Maryland. There's no suspect in custody. They're in the hospital. In Los Angeles, deputies got into a shootout and 2 were injured there.
Right now, we're all saying a little prayer for our deputies. We're hoping for a speedy recovery for them.
Deputies are in serious condition. 1 suspect is dead. 2 others are in custody. Elizabeth Smart is thanking those backing her as one of her kidnappers is set free.
It certainly has been a roller coaster of emotion, and at the same time, I've received an outpouring of love, of support, of prayers, and I so appreciate it. It makes such a huge difference to me.
72-year-old Wanda Barzee was released from prison yesterday. Legendary guitarist Dickie Betts is hospitalized in critical condition. The Allman Brothers Band guitarist fell at his Florida home and struck his head while playing with dogs in the backyard of his home in Sarasota. His manager describes again his condition as critical. Illinois voters will get to see Bruce Rauner and J.B. Pritzker debate on the same stage tonight for the first time. You can watch that debate on NBC5 Chicago's website. Disgraced former Chicago Police Commander John Burge is dead. The police union says he died in Florida at the age of 70. A suburban Chicago company is ready to expand and add hundreds of jobs, but it will be in Indiana. The Winwright Corporation announced plans to build a $26 million, 320,000 square foot plant in Hobart, Indiana. And this morning, be prepared to write a large check if you're interested in owning a piece of James Bond's favorite sports car company, Aston Martin. Aston Martin Lagonda will raise as much as $1.67 billion when it sells shares to investors for the first time. The luxury car maker says it will sell a 25% stake in the company for between 17 and 22 British pounds a share, valuing the company at about $6.7 billion. Aston Martin says the exact price will be set October 3rd. That luxury car maker was founded in London in 1913. Diamondbacks smacked 3 home runs en route to a 9-0 victory over the Cubs. Indians rally for a 4-1 victory over the White Sox. White Sox rookie pitcher Michael Kopech recovering after undergoing successful Tommy John surgery. The news service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America invites you to take steps for cures at a walk event near you. Support the 1.6 million Americans living with these diseases. Get started at cctakesteps.org. 5:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher, once again, has to do the mainstream media's job.
More economic great news. Optimism among small business owners reached a record high in August. So we keep seeing these historic record statistics and information. And guess what? It's being ignored.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. A great ball player doesn't just hit home runs. He puts the ball in play or gets on base every time he can. And that's what we want to do for you, so that you can be ready for your postseason play, your retirement.
That's why our whole team at Wealth Management Group has their game face on and is ready to help you.
Step up to the plate and make Wealth Management Group part of your financial force.
Start at investwithwmg.com and tune in each week to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Doctor, award-winning chief medical correspondent and Salonpas user, Dr. Bob Arnott.
For pain relief, the best solution may surprise you. I found that Salonpas Lidocaine Plus works best for my pain. It's powerful, available without a prescription, and uses 2 anesthetics to numb nerves right where it hurts. It starts to work on contact, providing effective, lasting pain relief I can count on.
Salonpas, in the silver box with the blue wave.
Napa know-how.
Right now, Mobil 1 Full Synthetic Motor Oil is $29.99 for a 5-quart jug. Its advanced formula provides maximum sludge protection, defending your engine like a catcher defends home plate. So, get top-notch engine protection with the Mobil 1 Full Synthetic 5-quart jug for $29.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 9/30/18.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
5:38, a check on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
On the inbound Eisenhower Expressway, traffic is stop and go from the Tri-State Tollway to the Reagan Tollway. There's a crash in that area. Everything now is moved to the right shoulder. Looking at about 32 minutes from 390 to downtown. Outbound fine at 29. Edens is clear. Inbound Kennedy at Cumberland, there is a new road work configuration, especially affecting the ramp to northbound Cumberland. Bound Stevenson getting some congestion around Pulaski. Inbound Ryan got about a 2 or 3 minute delay from Cermak into the Burns Circle. I-57 inbound delays start on 111, 20 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop 425. Delays starting around 115. No delays to report on the tollways. We're northwest Indiana. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast comes from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Partly sunny today. Breezy near record warmth. High near 91. Currently 67. Next news at 6, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by AM Woodland Outdoor Design, creating a landscape to be proud of. amwoodland.com.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Dan and Amy,
Tried to make a song about Keith Ellison. That didn't last too long.
That's Nico and Ben's. Am I wrong? So is Keith Ellison's accuser wrong? Why can't she get any attention from the Me Too minders? Valerie Richardson writing in the Washington Times about Karen Monahan, the ex-girlfriend of Keith Ellison, who is the deputy chairman of the Democrat National Committee, member of Congress.
And now you're Democratic candidate for Attorney General of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no movement there. Nothing.
So this surfaced, and we've discussed it, and now there's new information that's been provided by Miss Monahan. She posted online a Minnesota medical clinic's write-up from her visit to corroborate her accusations of physical and emotional abuse that were made public in August. She writes, when I post this, it gets deleted every time. The document is from the Park Nicollet Clinic. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Dated November 28th of 2017. In the write-up, quoting clinic's progress notes, she states that she was in a very stressful environment for years, emotional and physical abuse by a partner with whom she is now separated. She did not have any physical injuries that required a physical examination in the past. She identifies the individual she was involved in as Congressman Ellison, and she is worried about retribution if she identifies him publicly. Minnesota Democrats aren't buying this.
No.
There was a Star Tribune and Minnesota NPR poll taken. 5% of Democrats believe the allegations against Ellison. 30% don't. 65% don't know. And this is interesting because it speaks to the Kavanaugh dynamic as well. 42% of Republicans believe the allegations. 15% say they're false. 43% not sure. So 8 times as many Republicans believe the allegations as Democrats, because in these he said, she said cases, what do you have people do? You really don't know. We don't know what happened. There's no facts or evidence that's dispositive of the matter. And so people revert back to their political leanings.
Yeah, and he apparently threw her on a bed, then dragged her off a bed. But, I mean, she's so desperate, Dan. As she tweeted out, here is one of my doctor visits stating the abuse that occurred. It amazes me the measures people have to take for their humanity to be validated. Hashtag me too. Put that on Twitter again, and nobody...
But this is more evidence than Ms. Ford has presented against Kavanaugh.
Exactly.
So why no interest? And I'm not saying that because you are in the middle of a confirmation hearing. So I understand it. I understand that that's a focus. Why no interest?
He's
I mean,
in the middle of an election.
Right. He's nominee. Right. There's a November election. That's right. In addition to that, this has been a story that surfaced in August, as we mentioned, and so.
And he was all banged up about it too when he talked about it with Gayle King on CBS Morning News.
I'd say, look, we loved each other. We don't have to destroy each other.
It's obviously very emotional for you. Is that what you think she's trying to do?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to speculate on motive. I don't know. I've asked myself many times why. But not going to try to speculate on motive.
The Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party began investigating the charges last month. DNC chairman Tom Perez is deferring to the local party with respect to the review of the charges. But, I mean, it's just the lack of interest in what she has to say. She's a little bit upset about it, too, because she's a Democrat.
Yeah, she claims that her own party has turned on her, and people in her own party are making her feel bad because they're not taking this seriously.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Now, when we discussed this before, I was not inclined to kind of believe her story, or at least not believe it based on what she had presented so far and in the context of Ellison's response. Part of the problem is her son said there was a video of her being physically abused by Keith Ellison, which she said also existed, but then she's not going to produce it. And then she said it doesn't exist anymore. It got lost in some
locker. Wasn't a storage area?
Yeah, something like this. So her story about this alleged video changed, and that undermined her credibility for me. And again, I'm just trying to look at the facts here because, as I always say, these are case and fact-specific matters. So the standard is sort of an evidentiary and a credibility standard. It's not, everybody who makes an allegation should be believed nonsense, except when they're not serving my political interests. That's the D.C. standard. That's not my standard. So as much as I loathe Keith Ellison politically, there's just not enough presented here. And even with this note or report, part of a report that she posts from this clinic, I mean, again, did not have any physical injuries that required a physical examination in the past. The notes just basically recount what Karen Monahan said. So just because a medical professional takes down what a patient said, that doesn't make it true.
Right.
So I don't know that this really gives her more standing, other than the fact that she did tell medical professionals about it. So, I mean, it's something that she's been saying for a while. This is a report that's a year and a half old. So, okay, that's something, but I don't think it fully adjudicates the matter.
And according to Star Tribune in Minneapolis, they said that she wrote on Twitter this week, "I don't have to show a video that shows me in a vulnerable position. Did they even think what I may or may not have been wearing?" But Allison says there's no video exists because it didn't happen.
Right. And
so she's back to...
And also this physical and emotional abuse. Emotional abuse sort of, I have a hard time getting my hands around that.
I'm emotionally abused.
Yeah.
And I emotionally abuse.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm an abuser. I'm a giver and a taker.
Where does that rise to where does that rise to like the level of like disqualifying conduct or conduct that is relevant for confirmation to a political post or in your professional life? I mean, what?
Yeah. I mean, if you think you're being emotionally abused, you don't like your partner, you can leave.
I mean,
get out of the relationship.
Right. I mean, I
know that's a hard one.
You just have to. I just want more specificity. If you want to make that claim, you can make that claim, but you got to support it with some sort of specific allegations or evidence in furtherance of this nebulous idea of emotional abuse that's like a throw-in in every divorce proceeding, right?
Maybe she was emotionally abused because he didn't propose to her, so she felt emotionally abused. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why women feel abused. Emotionally.
I feel emotionally abused by Keith Ellison by having to watch him in the political arena. I don't know if that offers me a claim. Cindy in Joliet, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Cindy. Good.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Oh,
sorry.
there she is. Oh, the crickets.
Yeah,
helped.
you kind of dropped out there. Listen, I just heard that Ruth Bader Ginsburg is going to come forward that Abe Lincoln smacked her on the ass in 1863.
Hey,
so that's next.
Hey.
Okay.
All right, very
it's a
good.
family
Thanks
show.
for the call, Cindy.
We call it the Talks.
Jeff in Dundee.
Dan, Amy. Do you remember the Wallaby case? Do you remember that case
the
here in Chicago?
Case? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where the girl, I think her name was Susan Smith, I'm not sure, she lied about being raped because she didn't want to, I don't know, she didn't come through. She lied about it. This poor guy ends up in prison for I don't know how many years until DNA testing exonerated. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to kind of piece together the.
It was like every day in the Tribune.
Well, this was a girl.
But anyway,
this was a girl who was murdered. A young girl who was murdered.
No. She was never murdered.
Wait.
She just claimed that she was raped.
Well, what?
It's a Wallaby.
No, Jacqueline DeWallaby. Jacqueline DeWallaby was a young girl who was murdered. So,
okay, then it was another. Maybe I'm confusing another case, but. I want to just say that I went to Prospect High School, so Amy, I'm a fellow frauder. Yeah, right. But I went to Iowa State, so we're enemies. Anyway,
you must have better.
You're emotionally abusing
real
me
quick,
now.
Right. Well, my sister, who graduated from Iowa State, was living out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. She's jogging out there down Amish country, and some guy pulls his car over, pushes her down a ditch, tries to pull her panties down. And someone else luckily came by and stopped. Hey, what's going on down there? You need some help, and the guy runs off. Well, that traumatized my sister so bad that she needed psychiatric help.
Mm-hmm.
My brother-in-law had a standing order with the locksmith to change the locks in the house every week. And so if somebody is traumatized by an attempted whatever, you want to call it rape, attempted rape, whatever, assault. It just doesn't go away. It's just like something that you don't remember for 35 years. So this is a bunch of baloney.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call, Jeff, and for sharing that story. Glad your sister's okay. Greg in Schaumburg.
Okay, Dan and Amy, I want to capture the last hour or all of this, and since you two know how to fix anything, given the fact that this is the new standard for politics, where are we and how do we fix this, and can we?
Boy, Greg, how do we fix all of this? Where are we? John Cass says we're in the McCarthy era. John Cass writes about this, have you know, sense of decency, Senator Feinstein, which obviously is a reference to Joseph Welch, the attorney for the U.S. Army, who leveled that rhetorical question at Joseph McCarthy when he was investigating alleged communist activity in the military, in the U.S. Army specifically. Have you no sense of decency, Dianne Feinstein? Yeah, I think she's further degraded our politics, and the degradation happens quickly, and we're getting at a steeper angle, so it's a longer climb back. How do we fix it? I don't know. I guess, Republicans need, I think Republicans need more Ben Sasses. Even though I know he's been somewhat antagonistic to Trump, I think you need more philosophically grounded, courageous intellectuals in Congress. And the Democrats need to be, the Democrats I'm going to say something that they'll never do. They need to be honest about their motivations. Republicans should be too. They need to be transparent about their worldview. Sohrab Amari has a good piece in the New York Post. You know why this is so important to them and why they'll do anything and burn anything down and destroy whoever they need to destroy to prevent Brett Kavanaugh. Because the last 50 years of victories they've achieved in the advance of cultural Marxism have largely come through the courts, not through this small d democratic process, not through legislatures, not through elections, other than elections that put executives in power who can make judicial appointments. They've come through the courts since Griswold in '65, and they're worried about those victories being undone by the courts, in which many instances they should be. So I think, how do we fix this? I don't know. It's like saying, how do you fix humanity? People in pursuit of power with a government at every level, but since we're talking about the federal government, that has way too much power and way too many goodies to hand out, and so is corrupt through and through. How do you fix it? Rediscover federalism, unwind some of that government and some of the power that's attendant to being a temporary representative of a group of people in a congressional district or a Senate or a state, I should say, or even the country. I guess that'd be a start.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you maintain an industrial plant, you know your dust collection systems are a vital part of the operation of your plant. Without them, things can get dusty quick. And when your dust collection system malfunctions, the downtime can cost your plant money. Time to call the professionals at Vans Industrial for help.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. At Vans, we work with many different types and sizes of dust collectors, from 1,000 CFM to 100,000 CFM. If your system needs housing repair, tube sheet, pulse valves, ductwork, or collection hoods, give us a call. Schedule an inspection today to keep things running smoothly and avoid costly downtime. And when you're ready for a new dust collector, we can design your system from the collection hoods to the stack for plants of all size applications.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
All right, we got a brand new wheat sub here. One grain bread. Do I hear any takers? One grain bread. All right, what about two grain bread? Let me get a taker for 2 grain. What about you, Jimmy John's? It's a firm head shake. No from Jimmy John's. How about three grain sub bread? 3 is not enough. How about 4 grain? Who wouldn't want 4 grains? Jimmy John's still a no. Let's go 5, 6, 7, 8. Want to make it rain? 8 grain. Jimmy John's still a no. All right, what about 9 grain wheat bread? Wheat, yeah, we'll take it. That's Jimmy John's new 9 grain wheat subs. Going once, going twice. Sold.
Try our new 9 grain wheat sub. Jimmy John's. Wheat, yeah, freak yeah.
I used to post to job boards only to be overwhelmed with resumes.
Which made it easy to miss a great candidate.
That old process was
not smart. Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology finds the right people
and actively invites them to apply.
So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Success happens with an affordable full-time IT staff from Turnkey IT. Listen to another happy customer.
We're a doctor's office with a team of 2 doctors and 12 support staff in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, and we're one of the original all-in contracts with Turnkey IT. It's nice to never have to worry about our computer systems and concentrate on the practice. Turnkey started with replacing every piece of equipment, including all servers and PCs. Everything is warranted, and we don't even have to think about replacing hardware for the next 4 years. All this for one monthly payment that includes unlimited support, 24/7 monitoring, cloud backup, antivirus, and anti-ransomware. A truly turnkey support program. And it's all HIPAA compliant. Thanks for the peace of mind, Turnkey IT.
Your business can have great success too, with a full-time IT staff starting at $7.95 a month from Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth, now heard regularly in 18 countries. What percentage of you listening to this commercial often say to yourself, what could I do to make more money, or how can we increase our business? I'm guessing that's most of you. Have you ever heard knock on the door and it'll open? Well, my friends at Income Store have doors you can open that can help you or your family make more money, or doors that lead to an increase in revenue for any business of any size. Income Store has 2 main doors on their website. These doors lead to over 2,000 revenue-generating ideas and products. Although a few of their products are pricey, 90+% of their growth formulas are delivered free or nearly free. Income Store's growth products and ideas have been publicized and featured on Forbes, Inc., USA Today, and recently the Biography Channel. Could your household or business use a revenue shot in the backside? Are you sick of your checkbook talking back and saying no? If so, you need to knock on the doors of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Producing quality agitprop is a team effort, so it's nice to see the Democrat Socialists rally for the Obamas to help them consummate their $50 million Netflix production deal. The lineup really assembles itself. Cory Booker will star in a remake of Spartacus, only this time Spartacus is the wealthy senator, and he only thinks he's a slave. He runs around Capitol Hill yelling, "I am Spartacus," with no one else echoing the sentiment. Kamala Harris will play the lead in the spin-off How to Get Away with Murdering the Legal Canons. The Rip from the Headline season premiere will feature a bizarre temper tantrum masquerading as an interrogation of a SCOTUS nominee. Rahm Emanuel is scheduled to reprise the role of Abby Lee Miller from the Lifetime hit Dance Moms. The Emanuel version will be entitled Tiny Dancer Moms. Chris and Andrew Cuomo will play conjoined twins in the long-awaited sequel to Stuck on You. Other shows under consideration: Brian Williams as a bomb tech in a remake of The Hurt Locker, Rachel Maddow as Katie Lang in the biopic Crying, and Elizabeth Warren as Henry Fonda playing Tom Joad in a stirring interpretation of John Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath. It's a lineup that's binge and purge worthy.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Senators want to know by tomorrow if Brett Kavanaugh's accuser will talk to them Monday. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I hope she comes Monday. I think it will be a huge mistake if she doesn't.
Republican Senator John Kennedy, but Christine Blasey Ford has said she wants an investigation first into her allegations the Supreme Court nominee groped and assaulted her at a party when they were teenagers in 1982. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Ford has until 10 Friday morning to decide whether she'll testify. Senate Judiciary Committee spokesman Garrett Ventry says Republicans have offered her several choices.
A public hearing, a private hearing, to meet with staff. We've even offered to fly anywhere around the globe to meet with her.
Democrats claim Republicans are pressuring Ford to testify before she's ready. A statement by a Ford attorney says Chairman Chuck Grassley's plan to call just 2 witnesses, Kavanaugh and Ford, is not a fair or good faith investigation. Dave.
Rachel, thousands remain in shelters in North Carolina. Some don't know how badly damaged their flooded homes are yet. The day after President Trump visited both Carolinas.
We're going to have a lot of rebuilding. I flew over and there's a lot of damage. And you haven't really been hit yet by comparison to what's coming.
He saw some of the devastation, talked to some victims, handed out food. Hurricane Florence blamed for 37 deaths in 3 states. Farmers estimate more than 3 million chickens were killed. Shots fired at law enforcement in 3 states. 2 police officers were shot in Prince George's County, Maryland last night, serving a drug-related search warrant. One's in serious condition. The gunman surrendered. 2 deputies in Los Angeles were hit in the upper torso, responding to a call about suspects with guns.
The deputies returned fire. 1 suspect was struck at the scene and is deceased.
L.A. County Sheriff's Captain Darren Harris says 2 others are in custody. Another officer was wounded when a man opened fire at a crowded Pennsylvania courthouse. He's in good condition. 3 others were also injured. An officer shot and killed the gunman. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
67 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Illinois voters will get to see Bruce Rauner and J.B. Pritzker on the same stage tonight. The 2 major party candidates are set to debate on Chicago television at 6. You know, Rauner and Pritzker have been running millions of dollars worth of television commercials against each other. Tonight will be their first time trading words. And you can watch the NBC5 Chicago debate on the NBC5 website. Gary Chico believes his experience makes him the best candidate to be the next mayor of Chicago. The attorney also touted his local roots in a statement announcing his candidacy early this morning. Chico came in second to Mayor Emanuel in the 2011 race. He also presided as president of the Chicago Public Schools for a time and the Chicago Park District. A 6-month-old and a 13-year-old girl are among the 4 shot in Chicago's South Loop. Police say the children and a man and a woman were riding in a car near Cermak and State when someone wearing a ski mask jumped out of a blue van and began firing. Investigators tell us the incident stemmed from an argument between people in the 2 vehicles. Disgraced former Chicago Police Commander John Burge is dead. The police union says he died in Florida at the age of 70. More testimony is expected today in the trial of Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke, the officer charged in the murder of black teenager Laquan McDonald in 2014. The Reverend Jesse Jackson spoke about the deadly shooting while attending court yesterday.
The most heinous crime since the lynching of Emmett Till. But we intend to be witnesses every day until there is a resolution.
Cook County medical examiner took to the stand yesterday to describe the gunshot wounds. The chief of staff for Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle is stepping down. Preckwinkle announced yesterday John Keller has resigned over allegations of inappropriate and disrespectful behavior. Keller had served as her chief of staff since January of 2017, but has been tied to Preckwinkle since 2006. Diamondbacks over the Cubs in Phoenix, 9-0. Indians rally for a 4-1 victory over the White Sox. The news service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America, inviting you to take steps for cures at a walk event near you. Support the 1.6 million Americans living with these diseases. Get started at cctakesteps.org. 6:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity explains how important energy production is to the United States.
Don't think now that it's an accident that America is the biggest producer of oil now in the entire world. But this has always been the key to American foreign policy success. Why do you think all these years, why have I always pushed energy independence?
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Doctor, award-winning chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user, Dr. Bob Arnott.
For pain relief, the best solution may surprise you. I found that Salonpas Lidocaine Plus works best for my pain. It's powerful, available without a prescription, and uses 2 anesthetics to numb nerves right where it hurts. It starts to work on contact, providing effective, lasting pain relief I can count on.
Salonpas, in the silver box with the blue wave.
Hey, Chicago! Right now at VisionWorks, all prescription eyewear, every frame, every brand is 50% off. Yup, a nifty 50% thanks to our friends and family event. What's even better? It applies to both glasses and sunglasses. That's right. At the VisionWorks Friends and Family event, you can save 50% on all prescription eyewear. Why? Because we like you, Chicago. A lot. VisionWorks, we're here to help you. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Hey, fall is here, and so are those weekend cleanup projects. Hey, Sean Hannity here to tell you that getting organized is simple and easy with Store Lock Modular Systems, the best tool cabinet you'll ever buy. They're durable Store Lock Modular Systems. They're built the old-fashioned way, made to order, exactly how you want it, and they're 100% crafted in the USA. And these storage systems have dividers, liners, layouts. All are made with quality materials, including steel ball bearings and heat-treated steel rollers. Store Lock is so strong that each drawer holds up to 400 pounds. Your custom system is powder-coated in-house in any color that you want, plus it's fully assembled when it ships, so you can get organized really fast. Store Lock fits any home or business, will last a lifetime with its 55-year top-to-bottom warranty. All you have to do is order today and receive your system in about 4 weeks. Call now at 1-800-STOR-LOC. That's Store Lock, 1-800-STORE-LOCK. And check out StoreLock.com for upcoming events.
Hey, Chicago, Geico now has even more ways to help save you money. Kevin, your local Geico agent, is ready to deliver the personal service you need with the savings you love. Stop by his local office on Cicero Avenue or call 773-582-8888 for Kevin, your local Geico agent.
6:07 and a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Southside fire is reported 74th Blackstone, still in Vox Alarm. 1500 block of East 74th. Eden Spur eastbound traffic is tight. Toll Plaza to Waukegan Road. Inbound Kennedy delays are from 190 to Central and Fullerton to Division. 26 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Got eyes at Howard. Traffic hits the brakes Wolf to Harlem and Western to the Burns Circle. 38 minutes, 390 to downtown, Napa 33. Inbound Stevenson, bottled up Harlem, Kedzie, and Damon to the Ryan. 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, Napa 34. Ryan slow 95th to 87th, to Stevenson to the Circle. 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, 90 to the Merge, Bishop 430. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. From the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny and breezy, high 91. Mainly clear, windy and warm tonight. A late night shower with thunderstorm response, low 73. Clouds and sun tomorrow, breezy and cooler, high 74. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
67 at O'Hare. Next news, 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. This is an interesting aspect of it, too, that we really haven't discussed, talking about Kavanaugh. This text, we're talking about the claim by Keith Ellison's ex-girlfriend that she was physically and emotionally abused. We were going through that. And just on the matter of emotional abuse, because she released these notes from a medical clinic that just recount what she told medical professionals about what was happening to her. They said there was no physical injuries for them to treat in the report. So on the issue of emotional abuse, I said, emotional abuse is sort of this catch-all phrase that's used. And I think you have to be more specific if you want, in order to understand exactly what constitutes emotional abuse in a particular situation.
Well, yeah, an example of what he allegedly did. So, I can't stand you, I hate you. Then 2 seconds later, I love you. I mean, this is just conjecture on my part, but I don't know how he emotionally abused her.
Right, and that's what I was asking. Text from 708. Your mockery of emotional abuse is ridiculous. Grow the hell up. It's interesting, that reaction to what I said, because it's representative of a viewpoint. It's a viewpoint of the left. And it's consistent with what Lawrence O'Donnell tweeted yesterday. MSNBC guy.
Yeah.
Let's try living in a country where teenage girls can be less afraid of rape, and teenage boys are much more afraid that committing sexual assault will always catch up with them one way or the other.
I'm afraid we're raising a society of boys that aren't interested in all at girls because they're scared to even approach them. What's appropriate, what's not.
Yeah.
Can I hold her hand at a movie? Can I?
Well, that's.
And they're always guilty.
Well, that's
they used to be
another
innocent
issue.
before proven guilty, but now they're just guilty.
Mm-hmm.
All men are rapists. It's getting really old, and I'm really sick of this Me Too movement.
And
sick of it.
And that's sort of where I'm going, because Larry O'Donnell's tweet and the 708er who excoriated me, because I'm not a grown up, because I want specifics. That's not being a grown up. Emotional abuse and just ceding the territory. That's being a grown-up. Okay. But this, so both are like a perfect encapsulation of leftism. Individuals are expendable. The truth is optional when you're crusading to create heaven on earth. You see? So, I mean, the Larry O'Donnell's tweet, hey, if we have to sacrifice Brett Kavanaugh's career, if his reputation, if we have to negatively impact his wife and his daughters, hey, that's just what you have to, and whether it's true or not, we're just going to have to assume it's true. If we're wrong, hey, we're wrong. But the truth is optional here. We're in pursuit of a greater good. This is actually, ironically, the same attitude of the real predators who have been outed, thankfully, because of the Me Too movement and some reporting by Ronan Farrow specifically. What was the Harvey Weinstein defense? I can't deal with these charges right now. I'm going after the NRA. I'm good old Harvey Weinstein. You need me. Right? This is the defense. It's frankly, Blaise Cupich, Cardinal Cupich. It's his defense of Pope Francis and sexual misconduct within the church. We've got bigger things. We got to talk, refugee and immigration issues and climate change. We have important things to deal with. I can't deal with what you want me to deal with. Well, and this is this. So those who think they're aligned with the Me Too are actually aligned with the abusers when they take this approach that individuals are expendable and the truth is optional.
Well, you're speaking of Lawrence O'Donnell on his show on MSNBC. He had Anna Marie Cox, already convicted Kavanaugh of what he did, and then went on to see what she's hoping to find on Monday's hearing if it happens.
How he treats a woman's pain. And that is something I'm going to be paying attention to on Monday. How does he respond to what is happening, whether or not he agrees that this happened with her? Does he take her pain seriously? Do the people interrogating her take her pain seriously? Now, I'll give you a spoiler alert. I don't think Brett Kavanaugh takes women's pain very seriously, and I know that because of the decisions he's made as a judge. But I think that to have that unfold on national television live will be quite instructive.
This is another reason why I turn off MSNBC.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Because his pain, he doesn't feel. How does she know? She doesn't know.
Per Molly Hemingway, her write-up in the Federalist. Well, then, if that's true about Brett Kavanaugh, then there should be impeachment proceedings afoot right now to remove him from the D.C. Court of Appeals.
Oh, that's right. He's still in the D.C. Court.
If he's not, if this disqualifies him from the high court, wouldn't it necessarily disqualify him from the appellate court? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636-DA, turnkey.pro. Text line. Holly and Hudson, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, good morning. As Amy knows, I have many issues with this woman accusing Brett Kavanaugh. But probably my biggest issue is that she's weak and makes women look weak. This incident lasted probably 90 seconds. She claimed in the New York Post that it derailed her life for 4 or 5 years. Then it comes up 32 years later in marriage counseling as probably some excuse as to why her marriage isn't working. This is a weakness in the American spirit. We are accommodating people who don't have guts. And I want to give you an example of something that happened to me yesterday. So I am a substitute teacher. I'm going to give an essay test tomorrow. I get a letter forwarded from the teacher that one of the kids in the class would prefer to do the essay test verbally. Not comfortable writing, makes them really nervous when they have to write on paper.
Too bad.
Okay, so where do we draw the line here? Accommodating weakness. If I would have come home from a party, and I could have, I'm the same age as these people, and said to my parents, oh my gosh, I was at a party, and a boy jumped on top of me, and I got really scared. My dad would have said, grow up, kick him in the
kick him in the naughty
in the
bits.
business and get on with life. Instead of this coddling, this making people so weak. Why does society think that makes people stronger? It is undermining our value as Americans, our value to go get them, our value to get up and take the world by the horns. And it's so acceptable now to just accommodate weaknesses. And I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of her.
I'm sick
and
of
I hate women.
And honestly, no. And remember,
Thanks for the
Holly, this is why we have
call.
no friends. But if she was truly abused, if I was in her position, I'd want to face my accuser. And this song and dance, this little cat and mouse game, is so ridiculous. If he allegedly touched you, come to D.C. or at least let the lawmakers. Grassley's offering California lawmakers to go to California to talk to her.
Well, also, I want to understand exactly what the issue is because they're always moving the goalposts. First, she's not ready to, or first it was an FBI investigation.
Yeah, that's what they first demand.
Now they're saying she's not ready to testify. Well,
done.
Is it about her preparedness or is it about the FBI investigation or both?
Maybe she's worried about perjury. I mean, you're going to be under oath, so you have got to tell the truth.
Bob in Montclair.
Good morning. I think they ought to have an FBI investigation. That woman ought to. They ought to reactivate Andrew McCabe. He has experience with phony FISA warrants and things such as that. And besides, with his new book, he portrays himself as St. George versus Donald the Dragon. So he'd be the right guy, right?
Thanks for the call, Bob.
And even, the Hollywood elites are standing behind it. I don't even know if you want to hear this, but Juliana Moore, Eva Longoria, they've put together a support video titled, We Believe You.
Dear Professor Ford. Dear Professor Ford.
Dear Professor Ford,
Marissa
we know
Tomei.
how difficult it is to stand up to powerful people.
We want to thank you for publicly sharing your story of sexual violence.
As members of the Senate determine whether Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh
Should serve as a Supreme Court Justice.
The Supreme Court Justice.
This context
I like the mix.
is critical.
The behavior you described was wrong.
Wrong and runs directly counter to upholding the law and promoting justice.
Yeah.
He should not be.
Yeah,
I got
he
it.
should not be nominated. No, he should not be nominated.
We
applaud you and we salute you, Professor Ford.
I was hoping Hollywood would weigh in so we could understand where the truth is and just dispose of this case. Now we know.
Yeah, they don't care about the facts.
Peggy in Chicago.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm amazed that the general public would even consider this as valid. Since 27 years ago, Clarence Thomas had his life destroyed by Anita Hill. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here.
And I wanted to say, too, that I think it's kind of a smokescreen because the deep state is about to get flushed down the drain. Congress requested information, and they couldn't get the bureaucracy to respond, okay? And Trump has now, Monday, he ordered the bureaucracy to give up the information on the dossier and stuff.
Right.
And once it comes out, he ordered the page numbers, everything was very specific, and the information was easy to get. And they
Well, it's a matter of
responded.
it's a matter of declassifying information. Thanks for the call, Peggy. Appreciate it. And that process is now ongoing, and it's drawing a lot of attention from all the Obama apparatchiks in the intel community who are now calling on people to stop Trump's madness of declassifying portions of documents related to the various investigations and from Carter, the FISA, to surveil Carter Page, to other documents, and so we're going to see
And speaking
what
of Trump,
comes of that.
He's had measured responses. He's not letting this get under his skin, because every day reporters ask him about it, and he's just he's standing by his man.
I'd really want to see her. I really would want to see what she has to say. I can only say this: he is such an outstanding man. Very hard for me to imagine that anything happened.
Then let the Senate do its job. Stay out of the way. This all comes down to 3 senators, Murkowski, Collins, and Flake. So give, per their desire, particularly Flake, to give her an opportunity to have her say. The opportunity is present. She can choose not to have her say or to have her say. And then they move to markup. And if whether the hearing occurs or not on Monday, it seems to me the timeline the Senate is on is move to markup, schedule, and then there's.
So they said if she doesn't show up Monday. Oh, sorry. If they don't show up Monday, they're going to have a vote on Wednesday.
Well, probably next Monday, probably the following Monday, because there are certain time restrictions in terms of how quickly you can move to actual floor vote. But move it along. The opportunity is present. Take advantage of it. Don't take advantage of it. And then we have to move along. We have to move. We have to go. Sorry. Bye-bye. Marty in Naperville.
You still here?
You guys just played a tape of, or whatever you call it, of Hollywood, including Eva Longoria.
Yeah.
Who was in Desperate Housewives for the only sake so she could run around half naked, whose character had an affair with a child. So as long as she's profiting, it's just
Marty,
this is ridiculous.
Thanks for
this is ridiculous.
Thanks for the call, Marty.
I didn't know I'd get you all worked up about the video.
I think he's upset that Desperate Housewives was canceled.
I think so too.
Bruce in Bloomingdale.
Good morning. I'm amazed that anybody still believes that peaceful coexistence with the left in this country is actually possible. There's a much larger point being made here, and it's not just about Judge Kavanaugh. They're about destroying anybody that gets in the way of the goals of the left. And anybody who dares to accept an appointment by this president for any post can look forward to being smeared, lied about, and absolutely ambushed in the most unethical ways. Mitch McConnell ought to yank Dianne Feinstein off that committee today. She ought to be stripped of every post that she sits on and put into a broom closet at the Senate for conduct unbecoming. I mean, this is beyond the point of ridiculous. It's dangerous, and we need to wake up and pay attention because these people mean what they say.
Thanks, Bruce. Gary in Barrington.
Yeah, my thought on the whole deal is that it never happened. What happened to all the women who accused Roy Moore? As soon as he lost, they disappeared. Same thing is going to happen with Judge Kavanaugh. As soon as he wins, they will disappear.
Thanks for the call, Gary. What did happen to the Roy Moore accusers? Where do those matters stand? I mean, some of it couldn't be legally adjudicated because statutes had run, so I'm not sure what more could have been done other than to make it public and to litigate it politically. So there's that issue.
He had more than a few accusers, though.
Well, I understand. But, I mean, the point is, did they disappear, or this is really all they could do was try to stop him from being a senator because to impact him politically because you couldn't impact him legally. So there is that issue. Lewis in Dayton, Texas.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. How you guys doing this morning?
Morning.
Dan, you made a comment earlier about the left had stated that they felt that the accuser was being pressured into testifying because the Republicans wanted her to hurry up and testify. I think they're looking at it the wrong way. First of all, if a person is accused of doing something like that, you want to get the facts, and you want her to come forward right away because you want to get that type of person, not get them elected, but also you want to get them off the street. Secondly, they need to realize that we're gathering facts to ensure that we're accusing and, blaming the right person for this, because you don't want to put someone's life, in jail. You don't want to put someone in that position. Brian Banks, I don't know if you remember him. He was the high school kid who got arrested for the alleged rape that later on turned out to be false. From the story I read, he had a very promising career. All these colleges were coming to look at him. He was going to be the next great linebacker for the NFL. These accusations came. He was sent to jail. I forgot for how many years, but essentially, his life was ruined. Family and just everything was ruined. All the money that was spent. So this is why, the Republicans and a lot of people want her to come forward to gather these facts so that you're not ruining someone's life and someone's not being falsely accused.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Lewis. Thanks for the call.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one. Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I spent years studying how to make this the best. I didn't make this because I wanted to make a company. Other companies are starting to catch on to this, and I buy every single other product that comes out so I can look at it and see it and test it. And I fear that people will buy some counterfeit and take it for a couple of months and go, oh, it's a bunch of crap. Doesn't work. Don't be fooled. This is the real stuff. We have absolutely the best process, and I can say that because we purchase every single one and check them out.
I took everything that was on the market. Nothing ever worked. Nothing ever worked. And this is the first thing that's really worked.
Nothing can compare with the benefits of Balance of Nature.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, I love sleeping with the windows open in the fall, but are you really sleeping as well as you could be? The MyPillow buy one, get one free offer is back. And if you haven't bought your MyPillow yet, what are you waiting for? Treat yourself to a great night's sleep. Give the gift of a great night's sleep to a loved one in the buy one, get one free offer. And I love that I can move the fill to get the support I need regardless of sleep position. I really never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. MyPillow is made in America, washable, dryable, 10-year warranty, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. So go online or call now to get this great buy one, get one free deal. You can also get 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress toppers I've been telling you about, the best thing ever, which is those pet beds that you can throw in the washer and dryer. Bunky loves her pet bed. Also, they have luxury cotton sheets and pillowcases and more. Find it all at MyPillow.com. And when you check out, put Amy in that promo code, and voila, 30% will be taken off your order. Or call 800-489-0201.
Have you ever dreamed of going to Bible college or being trained for ministry? Have you been looking for a college that balances grace and faith? Well, Charis Bible College has over 60 locations worldwide that will prepare you to step into the purpose and calling that God has for you. A journey begins with a first step. Go to charisbiblecollege.org. That's Charis, C-H-A-R-I-S. Or call 844-360-9577 and find out why thousands of students go to Charis. Choose from their main campus in beautiful Woodland Park, Colorado, or a branch campus. There are also correspondence and online options. Multiple start dates are available throughout the year. Check them out at charisbiblecollege.org or call 844-360-9577. That's charisbiblecollege.org. Or call 844-360-9577. charisbiblecollege.org. Your journey starts here.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Ryan Siebert, CEO of SG Home Builders and a customer of Signature Bank. Over the last 10 years, my business pivoted multiple times to adjust to the fluctuations in the Chicago real estate market. Signature Bank's partnership with us and their ability to adapt to changes has allowed us to become a leading custom home builder. Signature Bank is a relationship-based business bank right here in Chicago, providing services and advice that address our unique situation, and they serve as a trusted consultant on what works best for my business. Signature Bank helped us build SG Home Builders while we were busy building dream homes for our clients.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on very special and exciting Dan and Amy.
At 6:36, the founder of DuckDuckGo has some intel for you on Google. And a little bit later, the halftime show performer for the Super Bowl has been announced.
Yeah, and people in Atlanta or Hotlanta are not happy. Wrong genre of music, Dan will explain. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
67 degrees. We're watching reaction to a developing story in the Philippines where a massive landslide has buried dozens of homes near a central Philippine mountain, killing 15. Over 100 now are reported missing. Dangerous flooding spawned by Hurricane Florence is threatening people across the Carolinas. The president called the flooding epic as he toured damage yesterday.
All of the state and local leaders who have been really incredible partners throughout this response and recovery.
The president calling Florence one of the most powerful and devastating storms in U.S. history. An attorney for the woman who accuses Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault says there's no need to rush. A hearing is scheduled Monday to address Christine Blasey Ford's claim that Kavanaugh held her down and groped her when they were back in high school in the early 1980s. A woman who attended high school with Ford is pushing back against claims that Brett Kavanaugh's accuser is mistaken. Samantha Gary says it's just not possible, she believes, that her friend from 40 years ago could make that kind of mistake.
She didn't ask to be in the situation she is in now. She asked for confidentiality.
Kavanaugh has denied any allegations. The State Department says terrorists killed fewer people last year. A report from the State Department says deaths from terrorists fell 27% last year. American consumers this morning are ranking the most relevant brands they use on a daily basis. And Facebook and Starbucks did not make the list. Global consultancy firm Profit is releasing its 4th annual Brand Relevance Index, where it measures the top 10 brands to consumers. Apple came in first, followed by Amazon. Pinterest was third, the only social media company to crack the top 10. In other news we're following this morning, Illinois voters will get to see a debate between Bruce Rauner and J.B. Pritzker tonight. You can watch that debate on NBC5 Chicago's website. Gary Chico believes his experience makes him the best candidate to be the next mayor of Chicago. Chico came in second to Mayor Emanuel in the 2011 race. He threw his hat in the ring yesterday. We expect Toni Preckwinkle, the Cook County Board president, to throw her hat in the ring later today. O'Hare International being given a very low score when it comes to passenger satisfaction. Chicago Airport this morning rated near the bottom of a survey conducted by marketing information services firm J.D. Power. O'Hare was 17th out of 19th of the country's largest ranked airports. Diamondbacks over the Cubs. Indians rally for a win over the White Sox. The news a service of Compassion International. For just 5 quarters a day, you can sponsor a child through Compassion International. Pocket change to you, life-changing for a child in need. Be part of the change and become a sponsor now at compassion.com/radio, compassion.com/radio. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Supporting veterans is our passion. That's why we support Veteran Roasters, a Chicago coffee roaster that hires homeless and chronically unemployed veterans. If you'd like to help create jobs for homeless veterans, visit veteranroasters.com and purchase a 12-ounce bag of coffee roasted and ground by once homeless and unemployed veterans. The coffee's delicious, and the profits are reinvested in hiring additional homeless veterans. Use promo code Team Hochberg to save 50% off the second bag you purchase. If you're a veteran securing a VA loan and would like to work with a local lender who supports veterans, call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
What's the big deal in retirement?
The big deal in retirement is income.
Bill Geiger can help you create it. Listen to Grow My Retirement, Saturday afternoons at 2 with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth Management. Bill translates today's complex retirement issues into easy-to-understand steps to help you create a retirement income you can't outlive.
The big deal is how are you going to pay your bills?
Grow My Retirement, Saturday afternoons at 2 here on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Do you believe Springfield works for us? Sean Thompson from Elmwood Park doesn't.
Nobody represents me, and nobody represents you. They represent themselves.
And Susan Michaud from Wheaton's home values are suffering for it.
Our property values are going down because our taxes keep going up.
Your property taxes go up, your home value goes down. The government takes your home. Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, we're all the same when it comes to property taxes. Gino Fioravanti of River Forest is leaving Illinois because of high taxes.
We're not going to be living in Illinois anymore, and it's due to the property taxes.
Sean Thompson blames both sides.
It's bipartisan failure.
You either force politicians who oppose property tax caps out of office, or they force you out of Illinois. A group of independent property tax reform candidates are running to save your home and our state now. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to take up their fight just as they have taken up yours. You stay. The politicians go, because they're the ones who suck. SaveYourHomeNow.org.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
It is 6:38 and a check on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
On Chicago's South Side, firefighters have extinguished blaze. 74th Blackstone. Eden's Expressway. Inbound traffic hits the brakes. Church to Dempster and Niles Center to the junction. 25 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 19. Kennedy. 32 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 14 from Montrose, 10 of the Express. Outbound 24 minutes to the airport. We've got Eisenhower now 53 minutes, 390 to downtown, 40 from Manheim. Outbound 36 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 22 minutes, 90 to the merge. Bishop 430. Westbound Tri-State heavy. Cicero to 87th, and from the Reagan Tollway to Balmoral. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partly sunny and breezy today. Near record warmth, a high of 91. Currently 67. Next news coming up at 7, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And you heard about that terrible shooting in the South Loop yesterday. Teenager and a 6-month-old baby shot. 3 people shot. South Loop. It's like State and Cermak. Uh-huh. I know, though, that Tiny Dancer is, even though he's a lame duck, he's got a lot of work to do. So he's going to end on a high note. And all these people coming in behind him are going to enter on a high note, too. Gary Chico, Queen Sugar, Dopey Daily. There's this story. We talked about this a few weeks ago, and we're updating the story. It's about Chicago's SWAT team, Chicago SWAT officers. Yeah. Sort of important. The police in general, SWAT specifically. We talked about detectives and clearing cases. That's important, too. But all aspects of public safety are front and center and should be in this mayoral election. Frankly, just for Chicago residents or tourists or suburbanites who like to visit Chicago and want to be safe. Important. Chicago Fraternal Order of Police recently filed a complaint that claims Chicago SWAT team has a shortage of manpower that endangers the public and the police force. We talked about this before, how Chicago SWAT operates differently than other cities for cost saving.
Oh, right. It's all about the money.
Unlike SWAT teams in other cities, by the way, this is reported in one of the papers I started, ChicagoCityWire.com, the Chicago Political Press Corps is too busy reprinting Preckwinkle press releases, at least over there at the AFL-CIO Times, and otherwise doing the bidding of the established political order. Unlike other SWAT teams in other major U.S. cities, Chicago's team has no on-call system in place that guarantees a minimum recommended number of officers will respond to, say, the taking of hostages, the threat of a suicide, or other emergencies during off-duty hours. This is from the FOP complaint. The situation has been addressed by members of the SWAT team with their supervisors on countless occasions in debriefs over the years. As of this time, still nothing has been done. Oh, it's amazing with all the change agents that we've had as mayors and members of the August City Council. June 15th incident's an example where this is a problem, as if it isn't obvious, but let's make it concrete. SWAT team members responded to reports of a 24-year-old man firing off a handgun, then barricading himself in a garage. 4 on-duty SWAT officers responded immediately. Only 8 of the 50 called who were off-duty responded. According to the complaint, that was not enough manpower to secure a proper perimeter. The result was the armed subject was able to break the perimeter, which endangered citizens, district personnel, members of the SWAT team. Additionally, the inadequate number of SWAT personnel did not give SWAT officers on the scene nor Chicago police negotiators the time and resources to de-escalate the situation. Ultimately, an officer shot the man in the lower body with a rifle after he pointed his handgun at police, and then the man committed suicide at the scene. A former SWAT team member told Chicago City Wire that non-lethal beanbag shells from a shotgun or sponge rounds from a .44 should have been used as soon as it was clear that negotiations were getting nowhere and the man was a threat to civilians and officers. CPD is pushing for and wants de-escalation, but its own SWAT team couldn't do it, said this former SWAT team member. The reason they didn't employ less lethal alternatives is because they didn't have enough personnel, and that's because they don't have a formal on-call system.
That is so strange because I've thought all these years that they've had an on-call system.
And
that's what they have in the suburbs. They have special task force where if there's a barricade situation, they all come running. They have their gear and they put it on, and then they arrive at the scene.
I mean,
as quickly as possible, but that's
we're what at 700-800 murders, 3,000 shootings a year.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had, say, you had some sort of domestic or even international terrorist attack in Chicago, it's a major city. It's a possibility. You know, we've seen these one-offs. These people that are self-radicalized or. All kinds of instances. Training logs show that Chicago SWAT does not meet the standards established by the National Tactical Officers Association for a full-time force and barely meets standards for a part-time force, said one former team member. For example, SWAT has no training in explosives breaching. In a hostage situation, you have to know how to enter in from a wall inside of the building because the bad guy's either covering the entrance or has it blocked. Even the SWAT teams in smaller cities know how to do this, not in Chicago. He also said the city could cover the cost of an on-call system by getting rid of some overtime pay for SWAT officers. Some are making well over $100,000 on a base salary of $85,000. He said one officer is making over $200,000. You know, this is where the kleptocracy endangers your safety. The corruption tax that we giggle about, that's the city of big shoulders. That's just how it works in Chicago.
Chicago.
The city that works. Yeah, right. You think so? Oh, meanwhile, the big story. Obama land gets a 99-year lease for $10.
$10.
That's what everybody wants to talk about.
This is how we can make money. Can we do that? We were going to give George Lucas that land for $1.
We made 10 times what we were going to give Lucas.
I mean, you can't even pay for a fourth of a parking spot with $10.
It's a great deal.
$10?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do they justify that?
It's it's going to be our 12th museum on Park District land, and this is going to be a great tourist attraction that will fill the city coffers so that we can
romp around on the roof because there's going to be green space there, and then there's going to be a golf course, right?
It's going to be great.
Right, Dan? There's going to be a golf course?
Steve in Hinsdale.
Yeah, I've got a nephew, Dan, who's a deputy sheriff in an urban county over in Michigan. I won't tell you which one it is, and it's not Wayne County. But he's been on the force for 25 years. He was a SWAT guy when he was younger. He's been telling me that SWAT all over the country right now is just going downhill fast. Nobody wants to do it anymore. Everybody's worried about the blowback. Everybody hates police. Just not worth it for these guys to do SWAT. It's not a mandatory requirement. You kind of have to be the badasses and sign up for it. Nobody wants to do it. It's a big problem. Thanks, Dan. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Steve. Interesting. All right. I understand. We talked a little bit about this with Gary McCarthy yesterday, candidate for mayor, about needing a mayor, perhaps him, that will back the police. If you don't have the civilian political backing, you know it, and it changes the way police do their job. And the results are what you see on the streets of Chicago. I mean, I understand. It's contained to certain neighborhoods, so everything's fine. Okay. Ralph in Rantoul.
Hey, good morning. I'm just wondering if it's going to hurt the police force ability to police if every time they draw their service weapons, before they draw them, they have to get a hold of Eric Holder on his mobile phone and give a brief verbal description of where they are and what's going on so that they can unlock the combination on their holsters and draw a service weapon.
Yeah,
and,
the combination.
Maybe protect themselves.
Yeah, well, now the good news is if Holder is not available, they are allowed to call Loretta Lynch. So they've got a backup there. Thanks for the call, Ralph. And also, don't forget, after they've cleared the drawing of their weapon with either Holder or Lynch, then they have to ascertain the suspect's preferred pronoun usage. Then they may engage. Joe in Villa Park.
Yeah. Now that the city's been put on notice about their inadequacies, and God forbid if something ever happened to me and it's because of their inadequacies, doesn't that leave me the ability to civilly sue them for millions?
I mean, it certainly heightens the legal exposure. Thanks for the call, Joe. I mean,
Didn't think about that.
You've got sovereign immunity issues that play into this, perhaps. But
Sovereign Immunity, that was the name of your college band, right?
Yeah.
What was it a cover for?
New Order cover band.
New Order.
Yeah.
Oh, New Order.
Mike on the north side.
Hey, don't worry about them not charging the Obama Temple of Hope and Change. If a wedding party wants to have its picture taken at Millennium Park, somebody comes up and tries to sell you a $300 permit.
Yeah.
That's where they're going to get their money.
Oh,
they've got their priorities straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
They interfere with your pictures unless you buy a permit in advance for $300. to take pictures at a public park that your taxes already paid for.
Yeah, and I don't
heard of that.
I don't know. Maybe they do. Thanks for the call,
I
Mike.
know Ronnie Woo Woo charges if you take a picture with him.
What's his rate?
They suggested donation is $1 to $5.
$1 to $5 for Ronnie Woo Woo, or $300 for the bean. I guess I go with Woo Woo.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Home construction rebounded in August. Monsanto asked a judge to dismiss a jury's $280 million damage award. AutoNation CEO calls it quits. Those stories next.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Home construction in August rose at the fastest rate in 7 months. The Commerce Department reports housing starts were higher despite an average price increase of $7,000 per home. Chemical and agribusiness company Monsanto asking a federal judge to dismiss an award of $289 million to a man who says the company's Roundup weed killer caused his cancer. Monsanto says there was no evidence that linked their herbicide to the men's disease. The nation's largest auto dealership chain, AutoNation, looking for a new CEO. Longtime CEO Mike Jackson leaving. He led AutoNation for the past 2 decades. During his tenure, AutoNation shares rose 4-fold. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
The rapid evolution of technology and industrial robotic automation systems offers a multitude of solutions that give manufacturers a competitive advantage. From ergonomics, quality control, and the need to meet increased production goals while improving the lives of everybody on the factory floor, industrial robotic automation can mean increased profitability and higher quality jobs. Matrix Industrial Automation has built a reputation as an industry leader in developing, building, and installing a wide range of turnkey robotic automation systems. Manufacturers big and small, local and worldwide, depend on Matrix to deliver the most optimal and robust industrial automation systems with improved ROI in mind. Maybe that manufacturer leaving Elk Grove to go to Indiana, the Winwright Corporation. Did you see that? $26 million in a new facility in Hobart, Indiana, shuttering its 2 Illinois plants. Call up the Matrix Industrial Automation guys for that new facility. This is nearly 2 decades of experience and hundreds of installed systems. That's why Matrix Industrial Automation, headquartered in Bartlett, Illinois, are the industrial automation experts. For information or to schedule a free automation consultation, visit matrixindustrialautomation.com or call 847-841-8260. That's matrixindustrialautomation.com.
The following is a paid political announcement.
In campaign ad after campaign ad, Joe Donnelly's driving his RV all over the place. But while he's out driving around, who's working for us? When he went to Washington, Donnelly promised to fight for Indiana seniors, saying,
I want to make sure that the voices of Hoosier seniors are heard.
But in Washington, it seems Donnelly skipped nearly 1/3 of his Senate Aging Committee hearings. How can the voices of Hoosier seniors be heard if Donnelly won't even show up and listen? Donnelly even skipped hearings on serious issues like Medicare and protecting financial security for seniors. So, if you see Joe out in his RV, give him a wave and tell him to do his job. Because if Donnelly won't show up for us, maybe it's time for him to hit the road for good. We don't need no-show Joe in the Senate. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
The players are fired up. The coaches are prepared for battle.
The student section is rumbling. The band is ready to rock. And you're ready for victory.
Touchdown, Northern Illinois!
Every game, every victory is right here on the Husky Sports Network.
Your NIU Huskies battle the Florida State Seminoles this Saturday afternoon at 2:30. Be here for NIU football on AM 560, The Answer.
Raj Shah, host of Secure Retirement Radio.
This is the time more than ever to look at your accounts and say, you know what? I've made a good amount of money back. Why give that money back, especially if you're entering into retirement and you need to generate an income? You need to have all of that money. So why give back what you've earned back from 2008?
Tune in for Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah, Chicago's safe money strategist. Sunday mornings at 7 here on AM 560, The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I thought I had a sinus headache for a few days, but I had a massive brain aneurysm, hemorrhage of the brain, and a stroke, and I was on my deathbed. I was on a respirator in a coma for 35 days, and 3 months later, I came home in a wheelchair. I had double vision. I had to learn to walk again, to speak again. 1 and 1 is 2, write the alphabet. You know, if I went out and did a little something, I'd come home, I'd be in bed. Now, I'm up by like 5:30 in the morning, and I go to the gym. I do shopping. I cook. I have energy all day. I mean, I feel great. Overall, my whole outlook, just feeling, my mental aspect, everything is better.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code CHICAGO. All right, if your roof's needy, you can
call Crumweedy.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. If your roof is leaky, if the shingles are curling, or if your roof isn't right after storms, then you need to call Crumweedy with roofing companies, and the difference is, of course, installation. Now, Crumweedy, they know that, and that's why they follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact, and many companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty. If you hate high-pressure sales tactics, not from Crumweedy. They give you good, better, best options. You make the choice, no pressure. Crumweedy is a roof that lasts at a fair price. Now, Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy, they lead this third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953. Now, they fix roof problems, so if your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
That's 630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. They're online, of course, at myroofisneedy.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure, boy, it brings back memories. Dan and Amy, the Super Bowl halftime show performer has been announced. It's not going to be Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, he was
He's
last
not going
year,
back
right?
to back.
Lady Gaga, her show was the best, and Beyonce's was good.
Well, I'll give you a hint.
Yeah?
It's music for people who hate music.
Oh.
I'll give you one more hint. It's going to make Eric and Kathy listeners very happy.
Maroon 5.
That's it.
Yay.
You know, just like it. I mean, it's just... It's a violation of the Geneva Convention, that music.
Well, people aren't happy because it's going to be, the Super Bowl is going to be in Atlanta this year, and it's a little more urban, and they want rappers, they want hip-hop artists. They were tweeting yesterday, is there a band more generic, Caucasian, and corporate than Maroon 5?
Family Guy's Meg's pretty happy.
Hey, Meg, I got you something for our 3-week anniversary.
Wow, a Maroon 5 CD!
Yeah, I remember how you told me you like terrible music, so I thought you might appreciate it.
You're so thoughtful.
They should have gone with, like, somebody, somebody good.
They wanted Usher.
No.
Yeah! Maybe now he'll put him in. Because, you know, artists invite other artists to the halftime show.
How about like, this Kygo guy? You know Kygo?
Kygo. What does Kygo sing?
Remind Me to Forget.
Oh.
That's an awesome song.
Okay, I'll look it up. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I'm so current.
You're so hip. You're such a hipster.
We'll get you current on Kavanaugh at 7:07.
But now let's go into the newsroom to a hip hopper. Here's Mike Scott.
A proposal could double taxes on vaping in Chicago. WIND, Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
Brett Kavanaugh's accuser is on deadline. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Republicans want to know by tomorrow if she'll talk to them.
Saying you either testify on Monday or not be heard, I think is fairly outrageous.
That's Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. She supports Christine Blasey Ford's call for an investigation first into allegations the Supreme Court nominee grubbed and assaulted her at a party when they were teenagers 36 years ago. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, a lawyer for Ford says Republicans are rushing to a hearing and acting in bad faith. Senate Judiciary Committee Chair Chuck Grassley says he's trying to accommodate Ford.
Coming before a committee, either in an open session or a closed session or a public or a private interviews.
There's also an offer on the table for staffers to fly to California to meet with Dr. Ford. Some Republicans on the panel say if she doesn't show up, it's time to move on and vote. Dave.
Rachel, President Trump, who had said he'd be okay with the government shutdown in a fight over border wall funding, just tweeted he wants to know where the money for the wall is and border security and a spending bill before Congress he calls ridiculous. It would fund the government through December 7th, and it passed the Senate 93-7. It's awaiting a House vote. South Korea's President Moon Jae-in's back home after a trip across the border to see Kim Jong-un.
Telling reporters his North Korean counterpart wants a second summit with President Trump as soon as possible. Also that Kim has a private message about nukes for the president, which Moon will hand off next week in New York at a UN meeting.
That's Fox's Lillian Wu. At the Korean leaders' meeting, Kim said he'd let inspectors in to see the dismantling of a missile test site. A police chase turned deadly in Pennsylvania. The driver they were after, Bruce Rogel, crashed into a house, killing him. Hours after Rogel shot at his wife but missed, then went to a retirement home.
He shot and killed both of his parents.
That's Chester County DA Tom Hogan. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
In Chicago, gray skies, 68 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Illinois voters will get to see Bruce Rauner and J.B. Pritzker finally on the same stage at the same time tonight. Two major party gubernatorial candidates are set to debate on Chicago television. You can watch that at NBC5 Chicago's website. Gary Chico believes his experience will make him the best candidate to be the next mayor of Chicago. The attorney also touted his local roots, formerly served as president of the Chicago Public Schools and the Chicago Park District. Meantime, Gary Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson is facing a subpoena. She, along with her chief of staff and other top city leaders, are being forced to answer critical questions concerning transfers of money from the fire department ambulance fund. The fund was the subject of an audit that found it was more than $8 million short of what it was supposed to be. A 42-year-old suburban Chicago man has been sentenced in absentia to 27 years in prison for sexually assaulting an underage girl. A Wednesday statement from the DuPage County State's Attorney's Office tells us jurors found Cesar Avalos of West Chicago guilty in absentia. A sentence was imposed this week. Avalos was arrested in 2016 and released after posting $25,000 on a $250,000 bond. He never appeared back in court. Diamondbacks with 3 home runs and a 9-0 win over the Cubs in Phoenix. Jason Kipnis, a grand slam in the 9th. Indians rally for a 4-1 victory over the White Sox. Bears inside linebacker Danny Trevathan, the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And the Blackhawks take on the Red Wings tonight in Detroit. The News, a service of Mothers Against Drunk Driving for victims of drunk and drug driving. Their grief is unique, but you are not alone. MADD is here to help. Call their 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MADD-HELP, MADD.org, MADD.org. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018 on Saturday, October 27th. Presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicago's retirement planning experts. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated and by healthinsurancementors.com.
Dr. Bob Arnott for Salonpas.
I'm training for the world's most grueling paddleboard race. 32 miles of open ocean, high winds and surf. Naturally, I get a lot of muscle pain. 50 years in medicine has taught me what to look for in a pain reliever. Powerful, targeted, non-addictive, and available without a prescription. I found it in Salonpas Lidocaine Plus. It has 2 powerful anesthetics that numb nerves right where it hurts. Salonpas gives me relief.
Hey Chicago! Right now at VisionWorks, all prescription eyewear, every frame, every brand is 50% off. Yup, a nifty 50% thanks to our friends and family event. What's even better? It applies to both glasses and sunglasses. That's right. At the VisionWorks Friends and Family event, you can save 50% on all prescription eyewear. Why? Because we like you, Chicago. A lot. VisionWorks, we're here to help you. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
7:07 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Edens Expressway traffic is stop and go Gulf to Montrose. It's 35 minutes Lake Cook to Junction. Outbound 22 Kennedy. 50 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 22 from Montrose. 20 in the Express. Outbound 38 to O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower. An hour 390 to downtown. 40 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 39 to 390. Stevenson. An hour and 6 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 44 minutes. Ryan 30 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 28 minutes, side to the merge, Bishop Ford, 40. Northbound Tri-State heavy, Cicero to 31st, and jammed Cermak to Balmoral with crash in the right lane. Reagan toll delays, Napier Hill Road to 355, York to the Tri-State, northbound Veterans Memorial, Boughton to Roosevelt. It's traffic, I'm Jim Talamonte. From the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Partly sunny and breezy today, gusts up to 30 miles per hour, high 91, heat index values of 96 to 101. Mainly clear tonight with a late night shower or thunderstorm in spots, wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour, low 73. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
67 at O'Hare, next news 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Taking your recommendations for Super Bowl halftime show in between serious topics like the confirmation of a Supreme Court nominee. We disclosed at the end of the last hour, it is Maroon 5.
Right, that'll be singing or performing at halftime this year.
Right, you can't call what they do singing. That's right.
Well,
I've suggested Kygo. Mike Scott has suggested Atlanta's very own Zac Brown Band.
Oh, Zac Brown's good.
That'd be pretty good.
They put on a nice show at Wrigley.
Yeah.
I like Luke Bryan. I have a little crush on him right now.
Yeah.
Because I went to his concert.
Mm-hmm.
Got an email. Remember when Dan came on board and he was very, very serious? Amy, look how you've loosened him up and brought out his vocal abilities.
No, I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that, and I don't recall it in present. Speaking of remembering things, let's going to turn our attention to the state of play with respect to Kavanaugh's nomination. White men turn out to be a real big problem in this saga, according to a white dude from California named John Garamendi, who is parroting the party line.
Women across this nation should be outraged at what these white men senators are doing to this woman. This woman needs a fair hearing, as every woman does who brings forth a charge such as Professor Ford is bringing forth.
So, again, tell me that this is not about the left's identity politics. You have a senior citizen, crusty white dude from California who's a Democrat member of Congress. He doesn't say Republican senators. White men senators. That's the talking point he got from Mazie Hirono, all the men of the country shut up. That's the talking point he got from Di-Fi. That's the talking point that everybody is repeating because it is about moving suburban women to the polls on November 6th and making their framing their choice for congressional offices around cultural identity, not around economic self-sufficiency. And so you heard the same rap from Kristen Gillibrand, the grilling that she received from Jim Acosta on CNN. Here's a microphone talk. And Gillibrand did so. She's being treated unfairly, talking about Miss Ford, of course.
The fact that Mark Judge doesn't want to testify, well, maybe he doesn't want to be under oath. And so that is a red flag to me that they are trying to railroad this. They're trying to create a sham hearing on Monday. There's no rush for this. They have not given her time. And to not even have the courtesy of an investigation of the facts first and then have corroborating witnesses. Anita Hill had not only an FBI investigation, but she had 22 witnesses on her allegations with more witnesses that wanted to testify. This sounds like a sham hearing designed only to have a he said, she said. But the truth is, I believe her. She has a credible allegation against Judge Kavanaugh. She told her therapist 5 years about it. Her husband, she told a friend a year ago. She told a reporter before Judge Kavanaugh was even nominated. This is all indicia of truthfulness. And now she wants an FBI investigation to get to the facts. I believe her, and I think the women of America should be paying attention right now to how the Republicans on the Judiciary Committee are treating a woman who wants to testify to make sure that someone who gets a lifetime appointment has the character necessary to be a Supreme Court justice.
There it is, and I go back again to say, yes, of course they love the delay. I don't think I think they realize they're not going to get it. So now it's about using Ms. Ford as a cudgel to beat Republicans up and to beat out suburban women for November 6th. That's all it is, and it couldn't be more transparent, particularly with those like Gillibrand auditioning for the presidency in 2020 or the Democrat nomination for in 2020. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by our colleague Mike Gallagher, host of the eponymous Mike Gallagher Show that comes on after ours, 9 to 11 a.m. weekdays on these airwaves.
I love that word, eponymous.
Oh,
love that word.
I had
By
one
the way,
of those in my backyard last night.
Listen, Amy, Dan, Barry Manilow, halftime Super Bowl. Now that would be a Super Bowl I'd watch.
He's passed away, hasn't he?
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Are you? Come on.
He's on his fifth facelift. What are you talking about?
I would say.
I write the songs.
Oh man, I love that's my era. That's my era.
Barry Manilow. Air Supply. What about Air Supply?
What about Jewish Elvis, Neil Diamond?
Hey, I take Neil Diamond. That's my era too.
That would be a good show too.
I could do. I'm Coming to America. Make all the people exercised about immigration excited. It could be a big deal.
Half the group would take a knee.
And by the way, Paul McCartney. I would say Paul McCartney, but he can't keep his hands to himself.
Oh.
Ouch. Well, hopefully no wardrobe malfunctions with any of these guys.
That is for sure.
So good morning.
Good morning.
Are we going with Dr. Blasey or Dr. Ford?
I have to call her Professor. I just call her Christine Ford.
But the lawyer, her lawyers are insisting that she's wants to be known by Blasey, not Ford.
Oh, Christine Blasey.
So
yes.
Miss Blasey now. Okay.
Yes,
fine.
yes. I'm not sure why that's important in a sea of idiocy. Guys,
they're looking for more people to come forward.
And also, Mike, just on this show, I don't know. You run your own shop, all right? But on this show. On this show, you have to be a medical doctor to be called doctor. I'm a Juris Doctorate. I don't demand that Amy call me doctor. There's no doctors unless you're a medical doctor.
And isn't it always great that the pretentious people who insist, you always know who they are. They say, "My name is Doctor. I'm a doctor."
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Just be quiet. Would you just stop and put your name down?
Yeah, okay,
but they're proud of
Bob.
that. Hey,
Right.
good for them. Good for them. Hey, there's been a history of the political parties, and I like the way the tide is turning, because for a long time it seemed the Republican Party was getting really good at snatching defeat out of the jaws of victory. We've talked about that and lamented that over the years. The Democrats are doing this right now. This thing is backfiring in a way that they never anticipated. They are hoping, as you said, Dan, to drive women to the polls. They're thinking this is going to be a midterm election issue, and that's all this is about. This isn't about the alleged abuse of a woman 36 years ago. This isn't about Dr. Blasey or Professor Ford. This is about politicizing a very serious allegation that is going to follow this guy around now for the rest of his life, no matter what happens. But you're hearing the pushback from people like Mika Brzezinski, from the San Francisco Chronicle, Dianne Feinstein's home paper, saying she handled this terribly. This has been unfair to the accuser, unfair to the accused. And they play the clips. It makes my head spin to listen to the audio clips you just played. This is terrible. She's not getting a fair hearing. The Republicans are bending over backwards to give her a fair hearing. You want it in private? We'll give it in private. You want us to come to you in California? We'll come to you in California. We just want you to be heard, because, of course, somebody who makes an accusation like this deserves to be heard. Now,
I heard Senator Grassley say that there's a 10 a.m. deadline Friday.
Correct.
To decide whether or not she's going to be testifying or talking to them, whether it's in D.C. or California, right?
Correct, and that was on the table last night. I mean, the lawyers came out early on, made all the rounds. They were on ABC, CBS, NBC, all the morning shows the other day. She'll go anywhere, anytime. She wants to tell her story. To reasonable, normal Americans, it is not a stretch to say that if you're going to come forward and try to destroy a man because you feel he did something to you 36 years ago, you're going to have to tell the story. There's nothing unreasonable about that. Tell the story. Let at least the senators on the Judiciary Committee hear you. Let them hear him. But of course, we know that none of this is being done in good faith, guys. It's not. It just isn't. It's all about the midterm election. And I really do believe, you see the generic congressional ballot, Republicans picked up 4 points in the last couple of days. It's getting tighter and tighter. It shouldn't be tight in an off-year election like this. This ought to ostensibly go to the Democrats. I don't know that it will. I really don't. And this could be that 11th hour mistake that the Democrats are making that lets the Republicans hang on to the House and the Senate. We shall see.
Yeah, I mean, I think this has been coming into the fore for some years now. But this sort of national case of such profile really drives it home, I think, to men generally, and particularly when you have a United States Senator tell men to shut up and step up and do the right thing for once. The antipathy towards men, the presumption of guilt that all men live under now, at least according to some on the left. Obviously, not everybody believes that. Right-thinking people, reasonable people of all political stripes don't believe that. But the political class of the left absolutely seems to, or they want to capitalize on a minority of the population that does believe that and could drive people, could sort of herd people in the direction of cultural Marxism, the way they've been so successful on so many other issues. But you've got to see, you've got to suspect that people are watching this and saying, so an unfounded allegation from 3 decades ago could derail a Supreme Court nominee who's otherwise had a distinguished career, with no evidentiary support. Why couldn't it derail me in my corporate office or my law practice or my dental practice or whatever?
This is the real danger of those who lift up the Me Too movement, who conflate letting the accuser be heard and insisting that the accuser be believed. If you've noticed, the activists often say, well, you have to believe her. You just have to believe her. Wow. And that's so wrong. I mean, that presumes, if you were going to script this out, you've got a progressive professor from the San Francisco Bay Area who obviously doesn't want Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court. So if you're scripting this, again, I'm not trying to remove or assert that this didn't happen. We don't know. We don't know what happened 36 years ago. But there certainly can be a suspicion of a political motive here. But to say if somebody makes the accusation, then it must be so. She must be believed. That's first of all, it's un-American. It's antithetical to everything we believe in terms of a presumption of innocence, due process, and again, normal Americans. Kurt Schlichter. I don't know what you guys think of Kurt, but I just think he's so terrific, and he's got a book out. I'm going to talk to him next week on the radio show. He calls it The Normals. I mean, the normal Americans are watching, are paying attention. Normal Americans understand these basic principles of fairness and decency that seem to be out the window. So we shall see.
Reason, and just reason.
Reason, just some reason and logic. There's no logic, absent logic. And how about this goofball from Hawaii? She's now become the Maxine Waters. I mean, I love these guys that show that they're real. I mean, these are not people splitting atoms anytime soon. I mean, good Lord, Kamala Harris. The more you hear from these folks, the more you realize there's not a whole lot of lights on upstairs. And this is what voters are going to have to decide November the 6th. Register to vote. You got to get out. You must vote. We've got to we've got to let our voices be heard because we can fix this.
So, Mike, do you think it's a possibility she has a case of mistaken identity?
That's what's being suggested in the last 12 hours. A lot of people are starting to suggest that. Of course, that was first floated by Orrin Hatch. 36 years ago, I'm not trying to be glib here. I don't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. So, if something happened in a drunken sort of party of a bunch of teenagers, who knows? I'll tell you one thing about the so-called narrative of predators who do these kinds of horrible things. There almost always are other corroborating cases that come forward, and there has not been anything with Brett Kavanaugh. This is it.
I did something stupid in high school when I was 15. I remember exactly where I was. I remember how I got there, and I remember how I got home. For her to say she doesn't know whose house she was in. I can and we can all, Amy, we can all relate to that. Barry Wobbler and I, in when I was in a freshman in high school, we stole bottles of beer, and we somehow were running down the alley in my hometown of Dayton, Ohio, and the police were coming down the alley after us. We were so scared, we dropped the bottles. They crashed. I was crying. He was sobbing. And I remember exactly what block it was. I can tell you what time of day it was. The beer, Mike.
No, it broke. We broke it. We dropped it all. We were so afraid. Drink beer again. Oh Mike. My gosh! That's why I've never really been much of I'm kind of a teetotaler. I remember the Dayton police chasing us down. But honestly, all kidding aside, I remember exactly what block it took place in, what time it happened. I mean, and that was our traumatic thing. Stupidly doing something with beer. Imagine what it must be like to have a horrible assault and how you'd forget where, when. How you got there, how you got home. I don't know. The whole thing has a lot of questions, more questions than answers. And I also fear for and feel for people with legitimate claims of assault who now are being sort of, going to be marginalized by something like this being politicized. This shouldn't be politicized. It ought to be about the truth, and people ought to know what really happened.
All right. Well, Mike, I'll find out what Amy did when she's 15, and I'll let you know what it was.
I want to know all the details, and then we'll put it to a Barry Manilow song.
Very good. Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show, 9 a.m. weekdays on these airways, follows us. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I feel wonderful. I mean, a while ago, I was walking and my whole left side went tingly, and I don't know what happened. I've had the after effects of that in my hands and my legs, and I've noticed that since I've taken the fruits and veggies, I don't have that anymore. So that is one thing that I am very, very pleased with. And I don't feel any of that tingly sensation in my foot. It's like my nerves are getting healed or something. It's just wonderful. I love this. I'm very, very impressed with this product.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code CHICAGO.
So the thing that happened when
okay.
you're 15 that we're going to get to.
No.
So give us the nature of it.
I am not discussing it. Nobody needs to know. What happens in Mount Prospect stays in Mount Prospect.
Are you worried that the statute of limitations hasn't run yet?
It's run. It's run.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm positive. It was 30 plus years ago.
Is anyone involved, or was anyone who was involved never heard from again after that night?
We're all fine, I think. Well, one's in jail, but that has nothing to do with the story. Why don't you do your live read over there? Because you look like
All
you're
right.
ready to go.
If you don't want your son to grow up hanging out with the likes of Amy Jacobson, you want him to go to Northridge Prep.
Mean streets in Mount Prospect. It builds character, okay? We might not be the smartest people in the world, but we have street smarts.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want that Mount Prospect element. What kind of man do you hope to see? A man fully alive and committed to making good choices. Like not running with Amy J and her crowd and doing the right thing because they are right and because he's strong enough to resist Amy's siren song. Northridge Prep in Niles builds that kind of man at open house on Sunday, October 21st. See for yourself what makes Northridge Prep the #1 all-boys school, 3 years running, and the 4th best Catholic school in Illinois. Their academically rigorous curriculum celebrates the adventure of boyhood. Hall fests, superfans, jousting tournaments, and more make it a good place to be a boy. Northridge Prep is an independent school for boys grades 6 through 12. They produce men with the ability to think for themselves. Graduates go to the best universities, including the Ivy League, and also the best universities, not including the Ivy League. Every teacher is a role model, and 50% of the faculty attended a top 20 university. Don't miss Northridge Prep's open house on Sunday, October 21st. Learn more and register online at northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Do you believe Springfield works for us? Sean Thompson from Elmwood Park doesn't.
Nobody represents me, and nobody represents you. They represent themselves.
And Susan Michaud from Wheaton's home values are suffering for it.
Our property values are going down because our taxes keep going up.
Your property taxes go up, your home value goes down. The government takes your home. Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, we're all the same when it comes to property taxes. Gino Fiore-Avanti of River Forest is leaving Illinois because of high taxes.
We're not going to be living in Illinois anymore, and it's due to the property taxes.
Sean Thompson blames both sides.
It's bipartisan failure.
You either force politicians who oppose property tax caps out of office, or they force you out of Illinois. A group of independent property tax reform candidates are running to save your home and our state now. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to take up their fight just as they have taken up yours. You stay. The politicians go, because they're the ones who suck. SaveYourHomeNow.org.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit mygvn.com or call 877-695-1179 or online at mygvn.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
AM 560, The Answer.
Barry Manilow for a halftime show. I mean, come on.
I mean, how old is Mike Gallagher? I mean, I love him, but he just showed his age.
Yeah.
He's how old?
Again, Maroon 5. What?
You want me to steal second base? What?
There's a cuneiform going on in the news booth.
He's 56.
Oh.
Mike Gallagher.
Really?
Is, yes.
My age. No, I'm about 56.
No, you're 57.
I'm in my 40s.
But don't tell
No.
anybody.
We were talking about the Super Bowl halftime show.
Mhm.
And
It's not urban enough.
That's where Gallagher suggested Barry Manilow. But he's universal.
Right.
But I think you got to go somebody current, and that's for the kids like me
Yeah.
that are on the scene, keeping it tight.
You mean the hipsters from Lincoln Park?
Yeah.
Driving a Jetta?
Maroon 5 doesn't cut it.
Brian, either you cooperate or I blow my Adam Levine dog whistle.
Hey, my voice isn't that high.
It is. It is, though.
Oh, my God. Oh. All right.
Oh, I love this song. Look for the girl with the broken smile.
Exactly. I couldn't hold it. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, maybe a suggestion would be to cross genres and cross age groups with Gladys Knight, who now lives in Atlanta.
I have like an altitude headache from listening to Maroon 5.
Might be.
Oh,
it might be true.
It's disgusting. So Zach Brown Band, that's what Mike Scott has. I've got Kygo.
I've got Luke Bryan because I have a crush on him right now.
Yeah, but Luke Bryan's from Oklahoma, is he not?
He's in my heart. I
Okay.
don't care where he's from.
Oh, boy, that's
Why
such a nice sentiment. We'll see if we can get you an 8x10.
and in my iTunes. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll hear from the DuckDuckGo guy about Google at 7:37.
And later, Freedom Summit's coming. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Republicans have given an ultimatum to a college professor. We've talked about it this morning here on AM 560 with Dan and Amy. Republicans say the Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, who has been tied to a college professor in California, that Kavanaugh and his accuser have until Monday to report and testify at a hearing. And the GOP ultimatum also says to that professor they've given Christine Blasey Ford until this morning to decide whether she'll attend that Monday hearing. A woman who attended high school with Christine Blasey Ford is pushing back against claims that Brett Kavanaugh's accuser is mistaken. Samantha Gary this morning saying those who claim Ford is mistaken are not being fair.
To suggest that someone who's been sexually assaulted isn't remembering this correctly is just makes my head explode.
That accusation was handed out by Republican Senator Orrin Hatch, who said he thought Ford was mistaken when she accused President Trump's Supreme Court nominee of pinning her down and trying to grope her at a party when they were teens. Several rivers in North Carolina are expected to reach major flood stages today because of Hurricane Florence. Over a dozen rivers hit flood stage yesterday. At least 35 have died. Illinois voters will get to see gubernatorial candidates Bruce Rauner and J.B. Pritzker on the same stage tonight for the first time. The two major party candidates are set to debate. You can watch that debate on NBC5's website. Disgraced former Chicago police commander John Burge is dead. The police union says he died in Florida at the age of 70. An investigation continues following the death of an inmate at the Lake County Jail. Authorities say the man was found unresponsive yesterday in a cell in the maximum security section of that jail. E-cigarettes could be banned in public spaces next year in Palatine. Village Council approving the ban this week. Goes into effect January 2nd and includes all forms of vaping. Diamondbacks over the Cubs 9-0. Jason Kipnis with a grand slam. Indians rally for a 4-1 win over the White Sox. Blackhawks take on the Red Wings tonight in the NHL preseason. The news is a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager always wants the truth.
Other than improving, how has the United States changed since Donald Trump became president? Tell me a way in which it has become worse. They make up lies. There's more racism, there's more anti-Semitism. It's all lies. You know that in your own life. They make up things. They just make up things. They have to, because leftism is total myth.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Got an email last night from a lady in Florida who doubted my sincerity about Relief Factor until she tried it. She tried Relief Factor. In her case, it took her almost 3 weeks, and she woke up pain-free. Relief Factor was the answer she's been looking for. This makes my 60 seconds to tell you about Relief Factor some of the happiest times of my day, because I know people are going to get the relief that they've been craving. You can get all the pain relief benefits of Relief Factor without the negative side effects of ibuprofen or prescription drugs. Physicians created Relief Factor as a crucial way to support the body's fights against aches and pains. So no matter your age, maybe you're just too sore after a great workout at the gym, or if you're like me and you're of a certain age and you want to start dealing with the aches and pains of life, give Relief Factor a try. The 3-week quick start is $19.95. Try it for 3 weeks. It's $19.95. Decide if it's for you or not. ReliefFactor.com. ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-500-8384. 800-500-8384. Relief Factor.
Are customers passing you by because it's a major hassle to park in your lot? Convenient and safe parking may be one of the most overlooked aspects of your business. You've neglected your parking lot for way too many years. It's falling apart and could be scaring business away. Pavement Solutions can get your parking lot in shape. With proper care, you can extend the life of your current lot with Pavement Solutions' certified specialty blend product called GemSeal, Black Diamond, and Duramax. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but the best seal coat product in the industry. It'll protect your lot from sub-zero temperatures to a scorching 110-degree sun and features an abrasive, non-slip coat for safety and durability. With Enduramax, your lot will have that brand new feel and look at a fraction of the price of a new lot. You and your customers will be safe, and your business will look great. For parking lot repairs to snow removal, go to fixmylots.org. That's fixmylots.org. And get a free estimate. Plus, learn about getting 5% off your next job from Pavement Solutions.
7:36 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte. We'll get to Jim in just a moment. Chicago's Morning Answer continues after your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, partly sunny, breezy. There could be near record warmth if the sun comes out. Right now we have clouds. 91 degrees expected for the afternoon high. A thunderstorm in spots overnight, low 73. Clouds and sun tomorrow, high 74. Saturday, only a high of 67. Currently 68. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Townstone Financial Show, Saturday afternoons at 1. Nobody values your mortgage business like Townstone. Listen and call for the best advice.
Tickets for Freedom Summit Chicago are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, the social media giants, and the issue of their cultural influence and their political influence. Twitter, Jack Dorsey gave an extended interview that was republished in Recode, talking a little bit more about how Twitter, leans left. Remember Dorsey's
a little tad.
We lean left. There's no question. He was asked, what's been your experience in your listening tour, especially with conservatives? What have you learned? He said, I've learned personally, I've not tended to have conversations with many people on the more conservative end of the spectrum or right end of the spectrum. So goal number one was to say that we're here, be present, and see the folks who I personally haven't talked to. And as an organization, we tend not to naturally lean towards, and I don't know if there are any fundamentally different leanings that are different from the conversation that we've had with folks who are more on the left end of the spectrum. We tend to lean towards more of the liberal end of the spectrum or libertarian end of the spectrum, wherever that lies. I mean, honestly, like listening to these guys, it's like listening to Napoleon Dynamite and his brother Kip there that run Google.
They may be geniuses when it comes to social media and algorithms and coding, technology. But when it comes to communication, they're mopes. You can barely understand what they're saying. The thinking is completely muddled. You don't know what the hell they're talking about. But anyway, Jack Dorsey went on to say that he concedes the point that conservatives at Twitter don't feel safe coming forward to express their views for fear of retribution, professionally or socially. Huh. And that's also the case with people posting on Twitter more and more. Lila Rose, who runs Live Action's pro-life organization, she was recently on Tucker Carlson talking about how Twitter promotes Planned Parenthood. It's okay for Planned Parenthood to tweet that a woman has a right to an abortion, but when Lila Rose and her Live Action account tries to promote the idea that a baby has a right to life, Twitter considers that inflammatory. She said she tweeted under her own name, my account and at Live Action's account. So her account, Live Action account, had been banned for advertising from years because we're pro-life. So, I mean, just, again, understanding what the landscape is and how that landscape influences people's understanding of what's true and what isn't.
So let's say you were hypothetically with your hypothetical children.
Yeah.
What is it, Dan and Dan Jr.? What are their names? I'm sorry.
Dan Jr. and Dan the Third.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dan Jr. and Dan the Third.
Yeah.
Which one do you like better?
I love them both equally.
Oh, yeah. Oh, standard answer. Mm-hmm. Let's just say hypothetically you're in charge of Twitter. Would you let everyone's voice be heard? Let both sides be heard? Would you?
Oh no. I see. I want ideas presented side by side. I want the left to talk more.
You want more of the Senator Hirono?
I want more Mazie. I want more Gillibrand. I want more Cory Booker. I want more of his imaginary friends like T-Bone. The more they talk, the better it gets. What they do is operate in secrecy and squelch opposing views because they don't want views presented side by side. They don't want debate. No, I want it. I want the intellectual sparring and the fight. So, come one, come all. I mean, now if you're trolling with like hateful propaganda promoting Nazism or something, and otherwise interrupting substantive conversations, maybe I tell you to take a walk because I say here are the terms of use. It's just like regulating your own personal Facebook page. Here are my personal terms of use on my page. If you go there and you're using profanity, or if you're just trolling, posting, and reposting the same thing that's off topic and derailing, interesting exchanges, then go do that somewhere else. You don't have a right to my Facebook page. So I sort of apply the same principle if I was head of Google or Twitter or Facebook. I mean, what would you do?
I'd do exactly what you do.
Yeah.
And then also, too, banning people and then kicking them off Twitter for a while. Remember at the RNC in Cleveland when Milo got kicked off of Twitter?
Yeah,
and then he ran into an executive from Twitter, and they got in a huge fight, and screaming, and chair was flying because he wanted to be put back on Twitter. Is he still banned from Twitter?
I don't know. I
that's
don't
just
keep
ridiculous.
up with them. But
I know, but still, that's stupid. All ideas should be heard.
They're afraid to be.
Everyone has a freedom of speech.
They're afraid to be exposed. The left. I mean, anybody that would eliminate dissent. It's the unanimity of the graveyard, to quote Justice Robert Jackson. This also, too, NPR financed by taxpayer dollars. So this is not just regulating who's on, regulating what you can say. Sort of what
government-run media.
Sort of what Lila Rose was talking about from Live Action. That Gosnell film is coming out. We talked to one of the producers of that a couple months ago. The film about that. What they suggest, the greatest mass murder in the history of America, this Kermit Gosnell abortionist in Philadelphia, who's serving a life sentence for killing women and children. Gosnell, The Trial of America's Biggest Serial Killer. That's the name of the movie. It's in theaters October 12th. They reached out to National Public Radio to purchase a sponsorship for one of their shows, Fresh Air. There's a problem. The ad copy was not acceptable to NPR. The issue, this sentence. The film is the true story of abortionist Kermit Gosnell. Whoa! Can't say abortionist. Can't say abortionist. NPR's representative, sales rep, ran it up the legal flagpole. The word abortionist will need to be changed to the neutral word doctor.
Doctor? He's a butcher.
Everybody's a doctor. The Gosnell producers countered with, how about abortion doctor? Because that's, what he was. And generously, since he's serving a life sentence for being a murderer. But anyway, no, that's not good enough either. Philadelphia doctor Kermit Gosnell. Philadelphia doctor. For the filmmaker, that's what NPR demanded. That was a deal breaker for the filmmakers and producers. Our movie isn't about a podiatrist or cardiologist or proctologist, said one of the producers. It's specifically about a doctor who performs abortions. Right. But abortion doctor didn't cut it. It's interesting, too, as noted in this piece by Matt Lewis in the Daily Beast, the term abortion doctor, he did a quick search of past NPR stories that have titles like Joyce Carol Oates' new novel begins with an abortion doctor's murder, and an abortion doctor killer appeals to Kansas High Court. Oh, sure, when it's the abortion doctor as the victim, as opposed to the criminal, is what Gosnell is. NPR even did a special series called Training the Next Generation of Abortion Doctors. But for marketing the Gosnell film, you had to go neutral on abortionist or abortion doctor, Philadelphia doctor. So controlling the language. You have to understand, you may not think it's important, just like a gay marriage redefinition. It's not important. If you don't think it's important, why do you think the left thinks it's important? Sticking on social media, Gabriel Weinberg is the founder of DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo.
Search engine.
I see what they did there. Duck, duck, goose, DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, search engine.
Oh, that's right. I knew that.
Did you know, unlike searching on DuckDuckGo, when you search on Google, they keep your search history forever? DuckDuckGo doesn't. There's a value prop. It means they know every search you've ever done on Google.
Oh, boy.
It's pretty scary, but it's just the shallow end of a very deep pool of data that they try to collect on people. What most people don't realize, writes Weinberg, is that even if you don't use any Google products directly, they're still trying to track as much as they can about you. Google trackers have been found on 75% of the top 1 million websites in the world. They're trying to track most everywhere you go on the internet, trying to slurp up your browsing history. He gives you an example. If you use an Android, Google's usually tracking every place you've been via Google location services, how often you use your apps, when you use them, where you use them, whom you use them to interact with, all of your text messages, not encrypted, and your photos. If you use Gmail, they also, of course, have your email messages, Google Calendar, they know your schedule. There's a pattern here. For all Google products, you can expect the same level of tracking. It's pretty much anything they can track, they will. Very much like on Facebook, where you're the product. That's what Google is. They're not a search engine. They're a tracking company. And you're the product. It's just interesting to note, as you've heard now from the leadership of Google in that video that we played excerpts up from last week, that was from right after the 2016 election, about their attitude toward conservatives, their unwillingness to go before congressional committees and answer questions the way that executives from Facebook and Twitter have done. Just informing your views, not just about your social media consumption habits, not just about the language, but also about how the biggest and most powerful companies in the world at present trying to influence how you think about how a free society should be ordered, as expressed on who you vote for on November 6th.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Listen up, Chicago area. Are you interested in making some extra cash buying real estate tax liens? The Real Estate and Tax Lien Network is offering a free tax lien kit that'll show you how to use their simple 3-step formula and their proprietary website to earn secured returns, potentially up to 25%. It's so simple. You can do this in your pajamas from the comfort of your own home. Just point, click, and start buying tax liens right through their website anywhere in the U.S. And they're completely secured by the government. So if you're looking to become a real estate investor without getting dirty fixing up houses, then call 1-800-570-7120 now to get your free tax lien kit. Then get ready to buy tax liens for as low as a few $100s working only part-time. Call 800-570-7120 right now to get your free tax lien kit. Plus, 2 free tickets to a live training event, which includes a free smartwatch just for attending. Call 800-570-7120. That's 800-570-7120 for your free tax lien kit now. Individual results may vary.
Napa know-how.
Right now, Mobil 1 Full Synthetic Motor Oil is $29.99 for a 5-quart jug. Its advanced formula provides maximum sludge protection, defending your engine like a catcher defends home plate. So, get top-notch engine protection with the Mobil 1 Full Synthetic 5-quart jug for $29.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 9/30/18.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
Fall is here, and so are those weekend cleanup projects. It's also the perfect opportunity to get organized with Store-Lock Modular Systems, the best tool cabinet you'll ever buy. Store-Lock makes it easy and simple. It's fully assembled when it ships, so you can get organized fast. Durable Store-Lock Modular Systems are built the old-fashioned way, made to order exactly how you want it. Order your custom system that's powder-coated in-house in any color you want. They're 100% crafted in the good old USA and feature dividers, liners, and layouts, all made with quality materials, including steel ball bearings and heat-treated steel rollers. Store-Lock is so strong that each drawer holds up to 400 pounds. Store-Lock fits any home or business and will last a lifetime with its 55-year top-to-bottom warranty. Order today and receive your system in about 4 weeks. Call 1-800-STORE-LOCK. That's 1-800-STORLOC, and check out StoreLock.com for upcoming events.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's a great product. And the one thing I like about it the most is that when you open the bottles, you can smell like the scent of the fruits and veggies. It's no genius thing to it. It's really just fruits and veggies, which everyone needs. And you guys kind of put it in a way where you can take it easy and you can get it, and it's natural, and that's what I like about it. You know, I like the product, and I've taken it, and it's definitely made me feel a lot better. You know, I'm a healthy person to begin with. But it's definitely good prevention, and it's definitely gives me energy, and I feel like it's a natural thing. I like it. I really do.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code CHICAGO.
It's Glocktember. It's Schrank Smoke and Gun. All store-owned Glocks and accessories are on sale at the lowest prices allowed. Schrank's is a Glock Blue Label and Perfection dealer with an on-site certified Glock armorer and has dozens of Glock models in stock. And with the largest selection of new, used, and consignment firearms in Lake County, you'll avoid the Cook County firearm and ammo tax with just a short drive north. For gunsmithing, you know you can count on family-owned Schranks for over half a century. Cigar lovers, be sure to stock up from Schrank's humidors. And don't miss Schrank's special Glocktober sale. And be sure to check Schrank's website, Facebook, and Instagram for flash sales. Visit smoke_gun.org or call 847-662-4034. Schrank's Smoke and Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964. That's 847-662-4034 or online at gun.org.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Producing quality agitprop is a team effort, so it's nice to see the Democrat Socialists rally for the Obamas to help them consummate their $50 million Netflix production deal. The lineup really assembles itself. Cory Booker will star in a remake of Spartacus, only this time Spartacus is the wealthy senator, and he only thinks he's a slave. He runs around Capitol Hill yelling, "I am Spartacus," with no one else echoing the sentiment. Kamala Harris will play the lead in the spinoff How to Get Away with Murdering the Legal Canons. The ripped from the headline season premiere will feature a bizarre temper tantrum masquerading as an interrogation of a SCOTUS nominee. Rahm Emanuel is scheduled to reprise the role of Abby Lee Miller from the Lifetime hit Dance Moms. The Emanuel version will be entitled Tiny Dancer Moms. Chris and Andrew Cuomo will play conjoined twins in the long-awaited sequel to Stuck on You. Other shows under consideration: Brian Williams as a bomb tech in a remake of The Hurt Locker, Rachel Maddow as Katie Lang in the biopic Crying, and Elizabeth Warren as Henry Fonda playing Tom Joad in a stirring interpretation of John Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath. It's a lineup that's binge and purge worthy.
AM 560, The Answer.
Freedom Summit. Tickets are quickly selling out, so don't miss out on your chance to join us on Saturday, October 27th at the Westin Chicago, Northwest in Itasca. I should say tickets are selling quickly. And this year it's presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicago's retirement experts. This year's keynote speakers include former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark, James O'Keefe from Project Veritas, Mike Gallagher, who joined us at the 7 o'clock hour, and you can always hear his show beginning at 9 a.m. He's going to be there, as well as Noah Rothman from Commentary Magazine, Kurt Schlichter from townhall.com, and we will be there, so get your tickets today. Go to freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. And the event always sells out, so again, get your tickets today.
You're a fan of animals, big and small, on land and in the sea, aren't you,
Yeah, I
Amy?
have 2 fish tanks, 2 stray cats in my garage, and a dog named Bunky.
How about a lobster take?
I had to see that once with my cousins. We were at their home in Martha's Vineyard, and they put lobster in the boiling water, and that sound they made, I will never forget.
Here's the sound a lobster
No,
makes.
I don't want to hear it.
In boiling water, you ready?
No, I don't want to hear it. I'm not hearing it.
I know it's traumatic. I agree. It's
No, have you ever heard it?
It's sad. Sure.
No, it's not. It's
Here's another one. I feel so bad for that lobster.
No, it's the worst sound.
Oh, it's
They're
mean.
Crying. They're screaming for their lives. They're in pain, Dan. You watch them suffer, and then they die, and then you eat them, and they are delicious.
Nobody should be subjected, though, to the pain that you hear in the lobster's cries. Oh, my! I mean, that's inhumane. It's not right to do that to any living thing. And Charlotte's Legendary Lobster Pound in Maine agrees.
Were they going to stop selling lobster?
No.
In New England?
No, the restaurant's owner, Charlotte Gill, said she feels bad that when lobsters come here, there is no exit strategy. Well, there is. It's
in
Amy's
your
gullet.
belly.
Yeah.
Get in my belly.
So what she's done is she places in a box with 2 inches of water.
Yeah?
Will
she knock them on the head? Aye. But they taste better when they're alive when they go in the water, I guess.
Wait for it. She's
Okay.
placing the lobster in a box in about 2 inches of water, and then marijuana smoke is blown into the water through a hole in the bottom
Oh, that's...
to bake the lobster before he gets boiled.
He gets pot before he's put in a pot?
Exactly.
That's awesome. So then you don't have to hear that god-awful screaming.
Right.
It's the worst sound. I'm not kidding you.
Ease his pain. That's what she...
Well, you can smoke it, you can chew it, you can really try to do it, smoking pot.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, if you want to open a restaurant like that in Maine, Niagara College in southern Ontario is offering a new full-year cannabis production program. Yeah, 1-year certificate in growing pot. Some of the classes take place in a facility that's nicknamed the Cannabunker, a series of shipping containers linked together to form a high-tech, high-security production lab for growing marijuana. Boy, isn't this so evolved? Easing animals' pains, teaching the young people the arts of easing animals' pain. So you go get your cannabis production degree from Niagara College and you go up to Charlotte's legendary lobster pound and you become a practitioner.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Just anything to avoid that screaming.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, it's chilling.
You better keep achy, breaky heart off the air or we'll all go crazy.
Jed Babin at 8:08. We'll check in on the Norks and see how denuking is going.
And later, to the moon, Alice. But first, into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
The Van Dyke trial continues today. A Preckwinkle chief of staff resigns. And the D-backs blank the Cubs. WIND, Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Republican senators want her final answer by tomorrow morning. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Wanted to hear from Brett Kavanaugh's accuser. And Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley says they're
doing everything that we can to make Dr. Ford comfortable.
Offering to let her talk either at Monday's hearing in public or private, even offering to fly out to California to talk to Christine Blasey Ford, who claims the Supreme Court nominee groped and assaulted her at a party when they were teenagers. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Democrats say Republicans are trying to bully Ford into testifying on Monday. Her lawyer has said she wants an FBI investigation before a hearing. Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand agrees.
Even in the Anita Hill hearings, they reopened the FBI background check investigation and spent time to do that.
Chairman Grassley has said there's no need for another outside investigation, and President Trump has declined to get the FBI involved. Democrats also want potential witnesses to be called to a hearing. Dave?
Rachel, North Korea's leader has a new message for President Trump about their nuclear talks, giving it to South Korea's president to deliver at the UN next week. 5 law enforcement officers are recovering the day after they were shot in 3 different states. 2 are cops in Prince George's County, Maryland, hit as they served a search warrant last night. One's in serious condition. That gunman surrendered. A shooter who wounded 2 deputies in Los Angeles was shot and killed last night. So was the gunman who opened fire at a crowded Pennsylvania courthouse, wounding 4 people, including an officer who's in good condition today. A different cop
encountered this armed gunman and fired multiple rounds from his service weapon. The gunman was fatally wounded.
And State Police Lieutenant Steve Dowland. A killer is dead in Pennsylvania after driving his minivan into a house late last night, early this morning during a police chase, hours after Bruce Rogel went to a retirement home and killed his parents, who were in their late 80s. He first tried to kill his ex-wife, but shot at her and missed. Angry, she was just awarded the house in their divorce. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Cloudy skies, 68 degrees, and we're seeing rumbles of thunder and some heavy lightning to the north and west of the city and to the north in Lake County this morning. 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Illinois voters will get to see Bruce Rauner and J.B. Pritzker on the same stage at the same time for the first time tonight. The 2 major party candidates set to debate on Chicago television. You can watch that debate on NBC5 Chicago's website. Disgraced former Chicago police commander John Burge is dead. The police union says he died in Florida at the age of 70. You may recall in 2010 he was convicted in federal court of lying about police torture and was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. A 6-month-old boy and a 13-year-old girl are among the 4 shot in Chicago's South Loop. Police say the children and a man and woman were riding in a car near Cermak and State when their vehicle was fired on. The boy and girl are hospitalized in critical but stable condition. An investigation continues following the death of an inmate at the Lake County Jail. Authorities say the man was found unresponsive in a cell in the maximum security section of that jail. He died later at a nearby hospital. Chicago sports, Diamondbacks smacked 3 home runs en route to a 9-0 victory over the Cubs in Phoenix. Jason Kipnis belts a grand slam in the 9th inning. Indians rally for a 4-1 win over the White Sox. Bears inside linebacker Danny Trevathan named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week, and the Blackhawks take on the Red Wings later tonight in Detroit. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, more people were dining at Olive Garden and Longhorn Steakhouse in the summer quarter. Parent company Darden Restaurants is reporting better than expected earnings and sales. The media bidding war for majority ownership of European pay TV company Sky will be settled with an auction this weekend. Comcast and 21st Century Fox will bid, and British regulators will reveal on Saturday who wins the auction. 21st Century Fox is parent company of Fox News. Craftsman is being reinvented by its new owner, Stanley Black & Decker. The brand will be rolling out more than 1,200 new Craftsman products and a new logo. Craftsman will sell at Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Amazon, and other major retailers, and Sears, its former owner, also continues to sell Craftsman products. The Dow was up 158 yesterday. NASDAQ dropped 6. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
It's 8:04. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018 on Saturday, October 27th. Presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicago's retirement planning experts. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Charles Equipment Energy Systems and by The Income Store.
Attention maintenance coordinators. Fans are a vital part of your business's building or factory. You've got to keep the air moving, but when they break down or need service, who can you call? Vans Industrial repair all types of fans, from small wall fans to large air movers.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Fan repair is one of many services that Vans offers. If you have a fan with a damaged shaft, bearing, impeller, or housing, we can help. And if you need a new fan, we handle all major brands and can provide engineering assistance to properly size your new fan. Our crews can respond to your emergencies or routine maintenance and will have your fan back up and running fast. And when we're done repairing your fan, we can also dynamically balance it so it runs smooth for years to come.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to get your fan repaired today. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
Doctor, award-winning chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user, Dr. Bob Arnott.
For pain relief, the best solution may surprise you. I found that Salonpas Lidocaine Plus works best for my pain. It's powerful, available without a prescription, and uses 2 anesthetics to numb nerves right where it hurts. It starts to work on contact, providing effective, lasting pain relief I can count on.
Salonpas, in the silver box with the blue wave.
Hey Chicago! Right now at VisionWorks, all prescription eyewear, every frame, every brand is 50% off. Yup, a nifty 50% thanks to our friends and family event. What's even better? It applies to both glasses and sunglasses. That's right. At the VisionWorks Friends and Family event, you can save 50% on all prescription eyewear. Why? Because we like you, Chicago, a lot. VisionWorks, we're here to help you. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
It's 8:07. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Kennedy traffic is a solid mess. Austin to the Burn Circle, it is an hour and 17 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 47 minutes from Montrose, 36 in the Express. Outbound 50 minutes to O'Hare. Eden's 28 minutes Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 34. Eisenhower. An hour and 5 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound an hour and 4 minutes. Stevenson an hour, 8 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 39 minutes. Ryan 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive. Traffic's jammed. Irving Park to North Avenue. Northbound from the Stevenson to Monroe. Northbound Tri-State jammed. 95th to 31st. Got a stall blocking 2 left lanes. And it's stop and go Cermak to Balmoral. Northbound Veterans Memorial. The I-55 to St. Charles and North Avenue to Lake. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny and breezy, high 91. Mainly clear, windy and warm tonight. A late night shower with thunderstorm response, low 73. Clouds and sun tomorrow, breezy and cooler, high 74. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
It is 68, and we have clouds and heavy weather, especially to the north in Lake County, with thunder and some lightning strikes this morning. 71 along the lakefront. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is powered by CharlesEquipment.com, keeping the lights on through summer storms.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. At the end of last hour, we were talking about this restaurant in Maine, Charlotte's Legendary Lobster Pound, that is baking their lobsters before they boil them, baking them as in sedating them with marijuana to ease their pain. But I don't want to be accused of being anti-science here, so we shouldn't propagate the myth that lobsters scream, and that's what you hear when they're boiling.
They're screaming, and then they're like, help! I think I hear them say help.
It sounds like this. I mean, I agree, it's blood-curdling. But they don't have vocal cords, so they don't actually scream.
Well, then what's going on? Because there is a noise emanating from their beans.
It's air escaping from underneath their shell.
Oh, that's so disgusting.
Well, I'm just saying.
That's even horrible.
Now, I can explain Adam
Justin.
Levine.
Stop playing that drop.
But
yes.
as one tweeter pointed out, that actually is the only way to make a lobster cry, is if you play Adam Levine for the lobster.
So then you sedate them, and then there's no... But the air still comes out of their shell, right? Can we do a show and tell tomorrow? Well, if they're not screaming, and then they're sedating them with marijuana, and then they...
Well, it's still... Although somebody else pointed out that if I'm eating a lobster that's been baked...
Am I going to get baked?
No, right. And so then I'll want to eat more lobster, and it becomes a vicious circle. It's a good point.
Doesn't it?
It's a very complicated geopolitical topic. For a discussion of other complicated geopolitical topics, we're pleased to be joined again by Jed Babin. I don't know if he's ever been to Charlotte's Legendary Lobster Pound in Seawall, Maine, but he is a former Deputy Undersecretary of Defense and contributor to the Washington Times and American Spectator. Jed, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, good morning.
Good morning. By the way, just to get this out of the way, do you have Maroon 5 picked to do the halftime show for the Super Bowl next year? Do you have a preference?
Well, no. I think as far as the halftime show goes at the Super Bowl, I don't think I'm going to be watching anyway because they're liable to have Colin Kaepernick. And who cares?
There you go. All right. Yeah. All right. No, that's a fair position. All right. So, Jed, on to serious matters that are your focus. North Korea sort of fallen out of the headlines the last couple of months with the controversies du jour, and Kavanaugh obviously being the present one. But engagement with the North Koreans is ongoing. North Korea and South Korea had a little tete-a-tete the other day. Where do we stand with any real discernible progress as it pertains to North Korean denuclearization?
Well, there really isn't any. The fact that they're having talks between Kim Jong-un and President Moon Jae-in of South Korea is a good thing. We should be engaging with them, and I think Mr. Trump is trying to schedule another summit with Kim in the next couple of months, and, that's all to the good. Talking is better than shooting, but in this case, we have to recognize that there's absolutely nothing going on in terms of their disarmament. There is a proposal now that Kim is going to disassemble some facility on the basis of us giving him some unspecified concessions first. Well, that's not the way it works. We have to have preconditions to anything we do, and if they are not going to, and they're not, if they're not going to do anything substantial or really anything meaningful or anything, whatever you want to call it, whatever adjective you want to say, they're not doing a damn thing to disarm. There's really no reason for us to do anything in return, and we need to keep the pressure on, keep the sanctions on, and keep exposing countries like Russia and China, which are aiding North Korea by buying their coal and shipping oil in to that country, and a lot of other things they're doing.
Well, with respect to that, China, so the trade skirmish that we're involved in with China right now, with the eye for an eye tariff dynamic, how does that impact any hope we had to enlist China to help us with North Korea, or was that always a quixotic adventure?
Well, I was always quixotic, and it's a very polite term for it. It's baloney. The Chinese have North Korea as a client state. They can have a great deal of control, not entirely control over the Kim regime, but they are not doing much, if anything, to put pressure on Kim to actually denuclearize. They like the fact that Kim Jong-un has nuclear weapons and the missiles with which he can deliver them. They do that because it takes our attention away from what they're doing in the South China Sea and elsewhere. And, these are nations that we have as adversaries. They're not enemies. It's shooting war. But we can't disavow the idea that China is an adversary and that they're not going to help us because they have no reason to.
What about the prospect then with President Trump and Secretary of State Pompeo of cross-pollinating some of these issues, North Korean nuclear denuclearization with trade policy and lowering tariffs and removing new tariffs that have been imposed, a deal that addresses both of those issues, because obviously China is taking a hammering because of the tariffs that have been imposed. It's an open question how long they can endure that or would want to choose to endure that. Maybe this is an opportunity not only to drive for a lower tariff environment between the U.S. and the Chinese, but also for real Chinese engagement with North Korean denuclearization.
Well, I think there's a possibility. I think it's 1 in a million shot. And for that reason, it's worth pursuing. Even a 1 in a million shot is better than nothing. But we have to be realistic about it. China has much more leverage over us in this trade war than we have against them. They are not fair traders. They never have been. And, the fact of the matter is the tariffs are going to raise prices for American consumers as much as they hurt the Chinese. So it's a two-edged sword, and we have to really be careful with what we're doing. I think Mr. Trump, I don't know who's giving him advice. I hope Larry Kudlow is, and that he's following it in respect to this trade matter, because, quite frankly, guys, I'm a bullets and bombs guy. I don't know diddly about economics.
Yeah. This morning, the GOP is warning that time is running out for Ms. Ford, Professor Ford, whatever you want to call her, Kavanaugh's accuser, to speak. What do you make of this 11th hour surprise?
Well, I think if there were any credibility to it, we would have heard it from Dianne Feinstein months ago. She's had this letter from Ms. Ford for at least since July or even before that. And I think, again, if there were any credibility in it, we would have heard it a long time ago. I think it's simply a delaying tactic by the Democrats, and I think that Judge Kavanaugh is being, given a great disservice by doing this. He should not be dragged through the mud like this. And you know what? If she doesn't have the guts to come in and testify on Monday, not at some future, unspecified date, if she has not the guts to come in and testify on Monday, I think the whole thing should be ignored.
It's interesting. There was an interesting observation by Sohrab Ahmari in the New York Post about the left's scorched earth policy when it comes to SCOTUS nominees, particularly one that would change the sort of ideological balance of the court, if you will. And he points out that liberals fear their major cultural victories of the past 50 years are democratically illegitimate. Go from Griswold to present. Their cultural victories, the march towards cultural Marxism and centralized power, have all been won in the courts, not in state legislatures or through elections, other than elections as the means to judicial appointments. And so it could be undone. And that's why we're in a different environment today than we were 50 years ago or even 30 years ago, because of all the judicial victories that the cultural Marxists have piled up. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's largely right. I think if you look at some of the biggest and most disturbing things that have happened from the court in the past generation or two, I mean, for example, Roe v. Wade, I mean, that's the kind of thing that was imposed by the courts. It was not something that was come up through the states or the state legislatures. And, whether you like it or not, it was a very, very disruptive decision in American polity. And you see now that disruption is still polarizing Americans everywhere. So you look at a lot of things. I mean, I have no idea whether Roe v. Wade can ever be or should ever be overturned. But I'll tell you, as far as settled law in this country, you know, guys, Plessy versus Ferguson was settled law for a long time.
Right.
Dred Scott was settled law for a long time. And both of those decisions were horrific and deserve to be overturned in a very short time. So who knows what's going to happen with this court? Again, I think Judge Kavanaugh needs to be confirmed. If this gal does not show up on Monday, I think that she has lost any and all credibility, and nothing further should delay the nomination.
Do you think maybe the Senate should subpoena Kavanaugh's accuser to force her? You know, because she started this, and I feel really bad for Judge Kavanaugh, because if she doesn't show up, how's he going to get his reputation back? Is he going to release a statement? I mean, she's trying to destroy him. He's a family man also, and he's a man of the community. He's a volunteer coach.
Well, I don't think that she should be subpoenaed for the simple reason that that's playing into her hand.
Yeah, right.
You know, they want to delay it. Oh, well, we're going to subpoena you next month. We're going to subpoena you in November. I mean, that's just playing into what the Democrats want to do. I think he's got his reputation intact right now. And again, you know, if this person can't specify really what happened, who was there, where it happened, I mean, that just does not sound like there's any credibility to the accusation in any event. And I just don't see that there's much for him to be concerned about it all.
All right. He is Jed Babin, former U.S. Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, contributor to the Washington Times and the American Spectator. Jed, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I spent years studying how to make this the best. I didn't make this because I wanted to make a company. Other companies are starting to catch on to this, and I buy every single other product that comes out so I can look at it and see it and test it. And I fear that people will buy some counterfeit and take it for a couple of months and go, oh, it's a bunch of crap. Doesn't work. Don't be fooled. This is the real stuff. We have absolutely the best process, and I can say that because we purchase every single one and check them out.
I took everything that was on the market. Nothing ever worked. Nothing ever worked. And this is the first thing that's really worked.
Nothing can compare with the benefits of Balance of Nature.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code CHICAGO.
With the recent rainy weather, Permaseal is working hard to help homeowners across the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana area, but they need your help. Permaseal is hiring in all departments, especially sales, customer service, installation. They're looking for people with a great work ethic, who have ambition, a positive attitude, and want to learn new skills and have a desire to make the world a better place, a drier place. Does this sound like you? Then go to permaseal.net/careers to apply today. No experience is needed. Permaseal will teach you to become an expert in waterproofing and foundation repair. There's year-round work, tremendous growth opportunities, fun work environment. To apply, go to permaseal.net/careers. And if you're looking for a career change or a dry basement, you know who to call. Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325. Or go to permaseal.net.
You remember a simpler time when family fun was about having fun. It didn't include the kids glued to their tablets or smartphones. Well, real family fun is back at Gobert's Pumpkin Patch. For almost 70 years, Gobert's has been Chicagoland's family destination for fall fun.
This was the most fun day ever. My parents were there, my kids were there. There was a pumpkin patch, a maze, a haunted house, slides, a train, a fresh market, and there was so much more. I loved it.
It's a family tradition for us to visit Gobert's every October. The pumpkins are great, the attractions are fun, and the apple cider donuts are to die for.
Loved it. One price to get in, and almost all the activities were free. My kids had a blast.
Listen to the kids.
My mom loves the homemade caramel apples.
I have to say, the pumpkin cannon is cool.
They got a pumpkin-eating dinosaur. The live giraffe is really cool.
I love the jumping pillow and the Pumpkin Express train ride.
Gobert's Pumpkin Patch in Pingree Grove. Pick apples, explore the pumpkin patch, play games, ride the train. Gobert'sPumpkinPatch.com. Harvesting family memories. memories. The following is a paid political announcement.
Do you believe Springfield works for us? Sean Thompson from Elmwood Park doesn't.
Nobody represents me, and nobody represents you. They represent themselves.
And Susan Michaud from Wheaton's home values are suffering for it.
Our property values are going down because our taxes keep going up.
Your property taxes go up, your home value goes down. The government takes your home. Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, we're all the same when it comes to property taxes. Gino Fioravanti of River Forest is leaving Illinois because of high taxes.
We're not going to be living in Illinois anymore, and it's due to the property taxes.
Sean Thompson blames both sides.
It's bipartisan failure.
You either force politicians who oppose property tax caps out of office, or they force you out of Illinois. A group of independent property tax reform candidates are running to save your home and our state now. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to take up their fight just as they have taken up yours. You stay. The politicians go, because they're the ones who suck. SaveYourHomeNow.org.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. A question for you. I know we focused on federal issues and thinking about the balance of power in Congress come November 6th or come November 7th after the November 6th election. And we're talking mostly about other states. Well, let's talk about our state, because Democrat control of the House runs through Illinois, too. It's one of the battleground states for Democrats. Their calculus is here is they need to pick up two seats in Illinois. So Peter Roskam, Randy Hultgren, Rodney Davis, Mike Bost, the last two are Central and then Southern Illinois Republicans, respectively. They're all in competitive races.
How's Roskam doing in the latest poll? Because his opponent is blasting ads everywhere.
Even. And then also legislative races. I mean, in terms of your quality of life, I try to impress upon people, your state and local government has more of an immediate and repetitive impact on your quality of life where you live than does a distant federal government outside of national security issues. So are you coming out to vote for state legislative candidates? Because the Democrats are. This from Gateway Pundit captured this. St. Clair County Democrat rally. Jim Hoff down there at Gateway Pundit. Listen to this audio for a Democrat rally, St. Clair County, down by St. Louis, promoting Democrat politicians and the turnout of their base.
We got a great candidate for governor, J.B. Pritzker. He's going to win. He's going to win big. But he won't win if we do not get out and vote. We need to early vote. Like I say, we can play East St. Louis rules, vote off and vote early, vote off, and whatever you can get away with.
Shame.
I shouldn't say that, but
it's true.
I really don't care.
Whatever it takes to win.
Yes.
Yep. Whatever it takes. That's not funny at all.
It's funny. And East St. Louis.
Such a laugh.
East St. Louis. How's East St. Louis doing?
Horrible.
About the same as the south and west sides of Chicago, under the same sort of leadership for the same amount of generations. How's
People
it going?
are probably registered to vote that live in abandoned homes.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Are you coming out? The Trump voters, particularly, who maybe been vote Republican before, weren't participating before. Are you coming out on November 6th to vote for members of Congress, to vote for state legislators, and even the statewide candidates? Take your calls. Another example. Or are you going to get pushed around by the same thugs and their suburban henchmen? Story out of Lake County that would be leading the 10 o'clock newscast in Chicago if the target wasn't a Republican. Ken Idstein is a Republican candidate for state rep in the Grays Lake area, challenging the incumbent Sam Yingling, who has received more money from House Speaker Madigan than any other Democratic House candidate. Lake County. Ken Idstein had a sign. One of Idstein's, yard signs was on the lawn, private property, at the home of a Lake County board member named Larry Leafblad. And somebody came by and spray painting Ken Idstein for state representative. Ken Idstein is a gutter slur for a gay person. F-A.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I posted it on social media, Twitter and Facebook for you to see it. Spray painted it on there. The response, the media coverage, no. That's the tenor of the politics, though. And so vote early, vote often, and I don't care, whatever you can get away with. I mean, that should be the state's motto, whatever you can get away with. So are you coming out, or you're going to say everybody is terrible and everybody's the same, so that rationalizes my lack of engagement? And also, I don't want to, get involved in any ugliness, so I'll just let the left be ugly and continue to see Republican leadership surrender to them. And the ones who are willing to fight, I'm not going to make distinctions between those two. I'll just watch them get slaughtered. Or you're going to be an adult and you're going to make distinctions, and you're going to pick up something sharp and fight with people who are fighting for you and would like to be fighting with you. Tom in Deer Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning, Dana, and I want to thank you. I really appreciate your efforts in convincing people to get out to vote. I'll give you an example. I'm up here in Roscom's district, and Caston's got signs left and right. Very few of us, on the Roscom side of the aisle are doing that. They're very animated, Democrats, this election cycle, I think, do so much to President Trump. But I have friends that are ardent conservatives. They watch Fox every night, and they don't know that Dan McConkey and Mrs. Walsh are our representatives. So I really appreciate you pushing it on the air like you do.
All right, thanks for the call, Tom. Appreciate it.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
One of Miss Ford,
I'm going with Christine
Blasé.
Ford. I'm not doing the middle. I'm so sick of that. Just you're Ford.
Okay, well, one of her allies says she doesn't know what's true or isn't. So those character witnesses that Senator Gillibrand wants to come forward to corroborate her story,
Now, they're falling fast.
they don't seem to be around.
Yes. We'll have an update on one of them who deleted a Facebook post, and now she's saying even more. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Gray skies, 70 degrees, and a massive landslide has buried dozens of homes near a central Philippine mountain town. At least 21 have been killed. Rescuers are scrambling to find survivors. Over 100 are missing. It's in nearby Naga City in Cebu province. This is as the Philippines is still reeling from widespread damage from a recent typhoon. Republicans are giving a deadline to the college professor who says Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her when they were teens in the early 1980s. This morning, Susan Collins, U.S. Senator from Maine, told a local radio station it would be unfair to Kavanaugh if his accuser would not testify next Monday.
I just don't understand why the hearing shouldn't go forth.
Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley is giving Christine Ford many options and until tomorrow to decide whether she will testify at that Monday hearing. President Trump is not pleased with the new spending bill in Congress, taking to Twitter this morning, demanding to know where the money is for his border wall. There are reports of an arrest this morning made in the stabbing death of a woman who was attacked while jogging in the nation's capital. Wendy Martinez was stabbed several times last night in a trendy Washington, D.C. neighborhood. Illinois voters will get to see Bruce Rauner and J.B. Pritzker do battle on the same stage at the same time. Instead of just watching television commercials, you'll see the two major party candidates debate tonight. You can watch that debate on NBC5 Chicago's website. Disgraced former Chicago police commander John Burge is dead. Police union says he died in Florida at the age of 70. And Mayor Emanuel is pushing to reduce vaping in Chicago. A city council committee today will consider a proposal by the mayor that would roughly double the tax on e-cigarettes. Diamondbacks over the Cubs 9-0. Indians rally for a 4-1 win over the White Sox. The News is a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager doesn't see the recognition of Trump's accomplishments.
The left blew it. Donald Trump has achieved a tremendous amount. Since 1969, this is the lowest number of people filing for unemployment insurance. Do you realize what the headlines would be if this was Hillary Clinton or any Democrat? It would be banner headlines. It's ignored.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Being successful in business means overcoming enormous obstacles to serve your customers and community. AM 560, The Answer, wants to shine a spotlight on businesses that are thriving. We want to celebrate their success by finding out what makes these businesses unique, successful, and what we can learn from them. We want to know how you built it. Presented by Chicagoland Waterproofing. To tell us how you built it, go to 560theanswer.com/built. That's 560theanswer.com/BUILT. Sponsored by Signature Bank and Ozinga.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Larry Nora, founder and CEO of U-Store It, a network of award-winning self-storage facilities in the Chicago area, and a customer of Signature Bank. We've developed over 70 storage centers throughout the city and suburbs, and our business continues to grow. We need a bank who understands the neighborhoods and communities where we are making investments. We found that in Signature Bank. They know this city and its neighborhoods because they are based right here in Chicago. Finding a local banking institution like Signature Bank has been critical to the success of U-Store It, and we look forward to a long-term relationship.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
8:36, and let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
The northbound Veterans Memorial Tollway is jammed this morning from I-55 to St. Charles and North Avenue to 290, southbound North Avenue to 22nd. 53 is heavy, southbound Northwest Highway to Higgins, northbound the Adams Tollway to Northwest Highway. On the Tri-State, it's stop and go southbound 120 to 176, northbound 95th to 31st. Cermak near Balmoral. It's 23 minutes like Cook to Montrose outbound 44. Kennedy, hour and 4 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 42 minutes. Eisenhower, an hour 390 to downtown outbound an hour 17 with a crash past St. Charles. Stevenson, an hour 14, 355 to Lakeshore Drive outbound 40 minutes. Ryan is 42 minutes, 95th to downtown. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues. Next, your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Partly sunny, breezy. We could hit near record warmth this afternoon if the clouds part. High 91. Clear, windy, warm with a shower or thunderstorm overnight. Low 73. Currently 71. Next news at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k rollover specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. It's time for another one of Dan Proft's parenting tips. You know it.
It's time for Dan Proft's parenting tips. Whoa! Dan Proft's parenting tips. Whoa! Tell your kids to shut up and listen to him.
You're a child.
I like that extra.
Yeah.
You're a child.
And so the question is, free-range parenting or lawnmower parenting?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
The presentation of this choice and the implications was sparked by a follow-up to a story that we talked about a couple weeks back. This is the story of Corey Wyden, the Wilmette mom, who had the police called on her, and thus DCFS investigate her for allowing her 8-year-old daughter to walk the family dog around the block.
Yeah, family dog's name is
Marshmallow.
Yay! Just seeing if you were paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Marshmallow did a really good job on national TV, too.
And so did her little 8-year-old daughter, who she homeschools. Okay. Tribune following up on the story, pointing out that Corey Wyden is using her newfound platform because of all the attention this has generated to shine a light on the troubles of others, she says, are unfairly caught in the system. And good for her for doing it. I've had well over 100 people writing to me, some asking for help, said Wyden. Wyden, who was able to enlist an attorney friend to help her on the case, make the point that, low-income families don't have the resources to get an attorney and get out in front of a DCFS investigation. Here's another case. The Tribune recounts. In 2013, Natasha Felix let her children, ages 5 and 11, play with their 9-year-old cousin at a playground she could see from the window of her East Ukrainian village home. Passerby called DCFS, setting off a 2-year ordeal before Felix could get an inadequate supervision finding against her thrown out of court. While her case worked its way through the system, Felix said she could not volunteer at her children's school, and she had limited job prospects as a home health care aide. It's been extremely stressful, said Felix, who's a 27-year-old single mom. It makes you paranoid about every decision you make. DCFS data, 276,000 calls to its hotline during the last fiscal year. 81,000 of the calls resulted in investigations, so about 1/3. And from those, the office found fewer than 20,000 or less than 25% to have sufficient evidence to support allegations. But yet, among those that did was the Felix case was, at least at the investigative level, the Corey Wyden case, cases like this. And one of the issues is the law. The description of a neglected minor. Child younger than 14 left without supervision for an unreasonable period of time without regard for the mental or physical health, safety, or welfare of that minor. So obviously that's open to interpretation, and interpretation by this sclerotic bureaucracy at DCFS and the individuals that work there. I'm not saying that there aren't many that are well-intended and trying to look out for child welfare, but the question is, bureaucracy's best making these judgment calls, or our parents, generally speaking, when it comes to the dog walk around the block or playing with the kids playing with your cousin across the street, and cases like this. And then when you have a decision made, a real appreciation for the implications of making a decision like was made against Miss Felix, that 27-year-old single mom, because of how long it takes to adjudicate these matters and the impact it can have on somebody's life, including, by the way, the part of their life raising children.
Right.
So this is why Utah created a free-range parenting law with more specific language. This past May, they voted to protect parenting decisions by revising the state's child neglect law to include certain activities as legal,
Like
including
walking a dog.
children to play at the park unsupervised, walk to and from school alone, sit unattended in a parked car under certain conditions. That's the whole free-range parenting versus going the other direction, which is either ceding authority over your kids and your parenting decisions to the state, or because you're so concerned about that and the judgment of the state, you become
A lawnmower parent.
Which is
so we know
what?
what helicopter parents are. That's when they see things because they're always hovering like a helicopter and they swoop in to help their child. A lawnmower parent will just plow you over. They're trying to, these are parents, according to an educator who wrote an article in weareteachers.com. They're parents who try to spare their children from having to face adversity, struggle, or failure. So basically doing tasks for them, which is basically telling the kids, you can't do this right, so I'm going to do it for you.
Right.
It's not teaching them, self-responsibility. And they don't want any inconvenience or problems or discomfort for their child to face.
It's teaching them to be a 40-year-old who lives in the basement.
Exactly. And that's what people have been doing for a long time, having, lawnmower parenting. And that's why so many kids are still living at home.
Lawnmower parenting, helicopter parenting,
or free range.
or something akin to free-range parenting. I mean, free-range parenting today would have just been called parenting
Right.
when we were growing up. I mean, go out and play, don't come back until the sun's down.
And we didn't have clocks, so we didn't know what time it was. We didn't have iPhones, so when the sun was going down,
Yeah.
that's when you knew it was time to get on your bike and go have some of your mom's meatloaf.
Yeah, but otherwise it was go do something. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and stop going in and out of the house. You're either outside or you're inside, but no back and forth.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line, let's see, lawnmower parenting, helicopter parenting, or something akin to free-range parenting. What do you think?
Free range parenting. Now we have a free range parent or a couple in our hood, and they've. I'm not into that because sometimes they can freely get themselves into bad stuff, and then try and push that off on other kids. Like some parents had their kids at Lollapalooza, bought him a 4-day pass, and he's 13 years old. Doesn't sit well. I was not going to let Peyton or Eli go to Lollapalooza by themselves.
That's not the same thing as free-range parenting.
You don't think so?
No, because
we're
that's...
just letting the kids. But then it works in a way because the kids just go out and play basketball. We have a hoop across the street in the church parking lot.
That's free-range parenting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, free-range parenting isn't like I gave my kid a $80,000 car so he can drive to New Trier. That's not free-range parenting. I spent $600 or $1,000, whatever it was, for Lollapalooza, so that my kid could go. No, that's the free-range parenting means like
you're just not hovering over there.
Unsupervised.
Oh yeah.
But within guardrails of productive activity.
Yeah.
Right.
And
an
if
understanding
I'm outside,
of
I
consequences.
just keep my eye because I'll see neighborhood kids there that are younger.
The other thing,
but I would never call the cops on any of my neighbors
That's
because
insane.
they have their kids out there, and some are young. I mean, one's first grade, second grade, but so what?
I'm trying to find. I'm still looking to find the woman who called the police on Corey Wyden and her daughter who walking the dog. That woman should be outed. And frankly, this is something akin to filing a false police report, and she should face penalties for doing so.
She wasted resources of police officers who could have been doing something else. I mean, can you imagine if there's a shooting at the same time?
The see something, employ no common sense, and say something foments this lawnmower / helicopter parenting, and the whole thing cedes authority from the family to the state, which you should be very resistant to do, because the state will take whatever you give and then a heck of a lot more. Remember, the whole basis of the state power is intervening in the family. That's what the left is always trying to do. The bulwarks against state power are family and those platoons of democracy that de Tocqueville and Burke wrote about. Voluntary, social, civic organizations. That's what makes America so different. Should guard both jealously. Harry in Hawthorne Woods, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I'm all for free-range parenting because when the children are free-ranged, they taste much better.
That's true. There's no question
And
about
if you
that.
can ask
And they have to
J.B.
be
Pritzker,
organic.
he's
He's eating a lot of children in his commercials.
Thanks for the call, Harry. He's
Why did everybody ever talk about him?
talk
And
about
his-
him how.
It's a health issue.
What do
He
you
could
mean?
have a gripper at any moment, and nobody seems to care.
Oh God, he's a jolly fat guy, right?
And this song is he's got a tuba following him. It's a glandular problem.
Greg in Jefferson Park.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, when I was a kid, we used to go to Wilson Park every day.
Wow.
My dad used to travel a lot, and we'd know we'd have to be home at 6 o'clock for dinner, and you used to watch the sky because my dad used to take the 545 Lufthansa to Frankfurt. When you saw that plane, you knew it was time to go home.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Greg. I mean, here's the other thing, too. Is like, oh, well, you have to lock your doors, say you didn't used to lock your doors and car doors and all that stuff. And it's different.
Shut your garage door because they will help themselves.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, if you actually look at some of the crime data when it comes to things like kidnapping, it's really not that different. The data really doesn't bear out that. The disintegration of the family is different, and thus the disintegration of neighborhoods and community is different. So it creates different local dynamics. But the kind of the worst case scenario concerns, the incidents of worst case scenario, not dramatically different than they were when we were growing up. They're just not.
We used to get up early and ride our bikes to the pool on Euclid there for the whole summer.
That was
without any supervision.
That was a Mount Prospect?
Yeah. It was used to be called, what was it called? Oh my God, I can't remember. This is so sad. I'm getting old. Right next to Rob Roy Golf Course there.
Yeah.
The public pool. What was it
Yeah,
called?
okay, you went to the public pool. Nobody cares. David on the north side.
I need to know the name.
Congratulations, you went to the pool by yourself. You're all grown up now. David, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Hi, speak.
Oh, sorry. Hey, question. So let's just say your school, you're a private school here in the north side, and they say, hey, your kids are in 6th grade, they can walk home by themselves if the parents say it's okay, and the parents say that's fine, and then everyone checks in, and everything's okay, and then on their way from the school to the house, somebody sees them by themselves, calls up, says, hey, guess what? We got some kids here that are unattended, and this is bad news. And so who gets in trouble at that point?
Well, yeah, this is the problem, is that you could have the police come, you could then have them necessarily inform DCFS, and you have the case like in this Wilmette dog walking case, and the point is it's nonsense. You have government that doesn't exercise any judgment because we have these rules and procedures, and we're just automatons to follow these rules and procedures even when they make no sense. And this is why the Utah legislature moved to make the language in their child neglect law more specific.
So, but at the end of the day, if the parent gets, all of a sudden they're going to go through years of legal battles, but the person who initiated the call, there's no recourse for that person. It's like, hey, you know what?
It's ridiculous.
You made a bad decision, and you guess what? You got to pay for it now too.
Absolutely. Thanks for the call, David. That's why I want to find
that phone call.
We're going to get the police report. We're going to try and find out who this woman is. If somebody in Wilmette knows who she is, then let me know, and I'll be the one that outs her. I'll take the heat, no problem. Sean in Elmwood Park.
Two things, Prof. First off, the Tocqueville, he also was fascinated with the character of the American citizen who was fiercely independent. Is that what the case is now? Absolutely not. Number two, this is the women's fault. Those of us who raise kids understand this at a very early age. First project the kids have in 1st grade. What happens? The mothers get out of the minivans with the perfect projects.
Not me.
Carrying it, because they did it. They did it. You do it from the time they're in 1st grade, and you do it all the way till now when you order the husbands to bring the pants that the kid forgot. It's your fault, ladies. Yours. Because you became drill instructors instead of mothers and wives.
And my kids were embarrassed and said, too bad. Your project is good. Work on it. Spend more time on it.
I think Sean is projecting his household onto all households, is what I think is happening.
I think
there.
Sean helped with every single project.
I doubt that, actually. Mark in Des Plaines.
This certainly is an armchair discussion this morning.
free range, it does sound like free range chicken, but the law is probably right. I mean, this harkens right over to communism where, everybody was a rat on one's neighbor. And is that where we really are today?
Yeah, the lives of others. Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, we're just going to rat on everyone, and everyone's going to go to jail. I mean, aren't we already in bondage enough at this point?
Thanks.
I mean, it gets to be ridiculous.
Thanks, Mark.
Wait, River Trails Park Pool. That was the name of it.
Okay. All right. Gosh, don't you wish you were there now?
Yes.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
For more than a half century, Mueller CPA and Financial Advisory has provided audit, tax, outsourced accounting, business consulting, and financial advisory services to Chicagoland companies. Mueller